I will try and hold back my cussing too.
I mean, knock on wood, I don't think we got... Let me double check. I don't think we got hit for Monday, even though Lucky dropped like 3 F-bombs right away. Literally within 10 seconds. I mean, the view count's not super high either, but we still got full monetization, so... It's mostly just that as a down under person, I'll switch the scene, y'all. Loth says the F word like he breathes.
I mean, I don't even
among other words.
Yeah, he also occasionally drops the hard C, which is a big no-no in YouTube's.
Yeah, that one I could imagine you getting demonetized more for. I think YouTube is... I don't want to like jinx anything, but from what I've heard, like, as far as the F word goes, I think they've just kind of given up.
Well, I know they lightened it to basically, and we're after 30 seconds, so if there was an ad served, we can say fuck now. But they lightened it up, so basically everything but a hardcore clear F-bomb or any of the words you're just straight up not allowed to say are fine. You can start the video with shitty titty dicks or something, but... or some other rhyming scheme involving cuss words. Carlin's famous words.
Some words are like what I like to call borderline words.
Yeah.
And I never know if they're okay or not okay.
That's fair. Probably the list is someone can pull a George Carlin at some point.
The one I'm most talking about is the bitch word. That one is like...
That one's almost... I feel like in our lifetimes, that word's not going to be offensive anymore. It already isn't, depending on the context. Like, if I went, oh, you bitch, am I even cussing?
No, you know what word I feel like that of?
What?
And I think it's already happened? Damn. Damn is no longer a curse word.
Oh, yeah, no, I think damn's gotten such a point so
God damn it is no longer a curse word.
Again,
God damn it, I think, like, if you bring God into it, there are still some people in this country
I guess to me the whole thing is
basically
you have to assume that the majority of the world is not Christian, so it doesn't mean much.
Well, also...
Incorrect.
Well, first of all, Christians aren't the only people that care about it. And yes, the majority of the world isn't Christian. But I think if you put... No, there's... Wait. Do Hindus give a I don't know if Hindus
they're not monotheistic, so I don't know if God would work in there. But there's a lot of Islam out there, which in context...
that's the big one I was thinking of. It's like they
also I mean, the thing is, YouTube's advertisers are mostly American, and YouTube's based in America. Where Protestantism is still the plague upon our morality.
Evangelicalism?
That's counted under Protestantism.
I don't want to bring up.
Also, there's a danger jackalope mate, and it's adorable.
Sick. All right. Well, now I got to do solo modes. I'll probably do that off screen because I have like 50 things to do. Sorry, chat.
Also, they have a Book of Moon mate, which is hilarious.
That's also funny. Yeah, I know you guys sometimes like to hear me yell at Master Duel, but I don't. I have so many things to do.
Forever.
They actually released a lot of stuff. They released a new structure deck, the Cyber...
Yeah,
and they did it out of fucking nowhere.
I've heard the patch is pretty good. I mean, they didn't change the ban list, which sucks ass.
Well, I mean, they changed the meta, though, so I think that...
Well, yeah, they coincided it to the Sword Soul release. I don't really know anything about Sword Soul. I know we got a Fusion one coming. I might be able to play... I might be able to play pure fusion Dragon Maids, which would be fun.
I might be able to play like Super Speedroids, I think.
Dragon Maid would probably... No, Speedroids would not work in Fusion.
No, I meant just in the meta.
No. I mean, they're like... Okay, I shouldn't say that much.
I mean, you can play Speedroids as your Barone Turbo package, I'm sure.
No, because they have their boss monster, who is not bad.
Clear Crystal Wing, I think, is the newest one.
They're like rogue... I would call Speedroid rogue.
The problem is, Axe, is as we just described, Sword Soul just came out. No, they are the most...
It's why I think I was going to make a Sword Soul deck.
Honestly, the biggest problem with Speedroid is they're kind of... I don't want to call them discount, because they're not that much worse, but they're just a little bit inferior Synchron at this point.
It's true, Synchron is fucking stupid. Also, that is a great suggestion. That is a great suggestion, chat. Invoked Dragon Maid. I can do that.
Yeah, Invoked Dalmatica is gonna be a thing.
Actually, have they announced the list for that? Is there?
The
There's
ban list. Let me check. I'm right.
because
on
there's
it.
no
Fusion?
way you wouldn't for the Fusion Festival because they announced it's
Yeah,
coming
I
up.
assume
There's
they're
no way
putting
you
some
wouldn't
stuff
do
to one.
something about some of the Shadal
Mecha
cards,
bot?
right?
Yeah, important.
Well, here's the thing.
well, it
Shadal's
might
a
not be
fusion
Shadal
archetype, though.
cards.
Yeah, but the problem is
Yeah.
if you make Shadal complete, literally everybody just plays Shadal. It's make Construct or make Winda first, you win.
Yeah. I wonder if they're
Yeah.
going to do anything about Alistair either.
I don't know.
Well, no, they couldn't hit Alistair. That takes out an entire deck type.
Yeah,
Oh.
like Invoked is strong. Like if anything, it would probably be like maybe a limit to Mecha Bus, so you can't do too many negations.
Okay, so they haven't.
Oh,
I
hold
can
on.
say from what I
Maybe,
Well, it's-
maybe
Oh,
for
no.
the Fusion Festival, because
oh no, that was already banned.
maybe they dropped Meltdown for the festival.
I'm looking for banned fusions,
anything.
and so far I'm not seeing any banned fusions. Well, other than or not Entis, Norden, but he's already
Yeah.
banned.
The already
Okay,
banned ones.
so all shut the fuck up, Master Duel Meta. You don't need money. Okay,
oh,
so
I
in
know a
addition to all Synchro Xyz Link and previously banned cards, there is a list of several. Well, it's good. A lot of rituals are in here. You cannot play Chaos Max, Ben 10, Gust Kraken.
Oh yeah, no, they've banned
Heralds.
A lot of rituals. Eldritch is at 1. That's a thing.
Weird.
ABC Buster Dragons at 1. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Colossus
okay.
is at 1.
This I'm gonna tell everybody. This festival is going to suck. Because as Dallas is correct, there are no hits to Fusion Extra Deck monsters at all. Therefore, Invoked Shadal Dogmatica will win everything.
I don't agree with that necessarily. I think it's going to be a 3-way tie at the top.
I mean, what are the
I
other?
think it's
Frightfur can easily take games off of Invoke Dogmatica, and because they eliminated it and not banned it, Thunder Dragon is also going to be relevant.
I was gonna
Actually,
say
you're
that-
correct. That's right. Colossus still exists in this format.
I will
It's
bring
at
up
1.
Thunder. You can't play links in the festival, so like,
That's
in, like
Thunder Dragon doesn't play links.
I don't know about that because they're mostly link deck.
No,
they're mostly
No,
Nixies
they're
deck.
fusion.
Axe,
Oh.
you are not a real Thunder Dragon player. You've
Okay.
only played Thunder Dragon through Master Duel and your own experimentation.
Yeah, I will tell you. They play. I mean, they play Access Code Talker and Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Unicorn. That doesn't mean anything.
No, literally everybody
Uh,
does that.
Yeah,
I
everyone
was mostly
who
thinking about how, like, I
doesn't
don't
lock
have
themselves
Exceed,
out of
like-
links plays those.
I don't know why you don't run Hope Harbinger Dragon.
Hope Hummerdinger.
I've never
Yeah.
had to.
Well, they also
Decent.
run a synchro package. They usually run Chaos Ruler, the magical.
Yeah,
Chaos,
the Chaos Ruler
Oh,
package,
yeah.
the Dragon. That's a great if you're
Barung
running
de
it,
Fleur.
because Thunder Dragons isn't
I've never run. I guess I've never run
actually
a metaverse.
it is not technically a Chaos deck, but it is a very Chaos-esque deck. Therefore, anything in your Chaos package works.
Yeah.
All right, Loth
And
is
I
doing
mean,
this.
you don't even need to be playing Chaos-esque. Like, you run it in Synchron because you have so many dark targets that you, want to try and get
you're
to.
right, Spirit on Lapis. We should not completely undercut. Branded isn't
Yeah,
full
no,
power, but
Branded-
Despia
Branded-
Albaz would be a competitor in this.
No,
format.
yeah, Despia. Honestly, I think Invoked Despia is going to be a big one. Like, I think. Well, also Hero. Do not discount Hero. Because,
Well, yeah. I
Diamond
mean, I
Phoenix
think
Big
Hero
Swing
will probably
exists.
end up being one of our dedicated like. I mean, there's obviously Masked Hero
freebies.
angles, but there's also
Well,
like
so
just
Diamond Dick Swinger exists now.
yeah.
That's what I mean.
I'm sorry, what?
Destiny
Fine.
Phoenix and Force.
Yeah, DPE's in the format, so
Oh.
what are your
Double
sample
penetration
decks?
Oh, did DPE finally make
Yeah,
it?
no, he's in
Yup.
the new
Yeah,
packs.
we
Yeah, they're
talked
starting
about
that
I
one.
pulled a whatchamacallit version of him. I'm pretty happy about it.
So what are the? Hold on, what the?
No,
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
Also, Cyberdark is going to be a good one because the structure deck basically gives you the. Deck
Oh
for
my
free.
God. Well, also we might have the. I think
Maybe-
we already made this joke. I think we might have the first good loner decks in the history of ever. One of them is D Hero. You get 2 Fusion Destiny and 2 DPE.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
so-
should probably start playing Master Duel again.
That's just like straight up. The other is Frightfur and Predaplant. But
I mean, Predaplan is probably. I'll argue this. The last the synchro event had 2 great loner decks, and then a third one that you could pick if you wanted to laugh.
Yeah, I didn't really have a
Or
positive impression of them, but this
Synchron.
is
The
definitely
Fleur deck.
like this is pretty good. Like I have played against Predaplant players in like in the wild, and you can still play Supreme
Oh
King Dragons 2
no,
and
I
1.
know a deck that I'm gonna play because it's busted as shit in this event. I forgot this is still a legitimate deck.
Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna play Pendulum FTK.
How so?
Supreme King Starving Venom.
Yeah, no, that is legitimate, and I think people have already talked
It's a
about running
future
into
card.
to Pendulum FTKers. Yeah, still.
Yeah, so I wonder if this is
And unfortunately,
I
this
wonder if
this
And now I
format this is the format they finally got some fucking sense, and the cards they limited are you can only play one summon limit, one macro, one skill drain.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also I
So
cannot
I
play
wonder-
a DPE Scythe in my Pendulum deck. Fuck yourself.
Oh boy, this is gonna.
Also, I wonder if then they're
Oh, but there's an instant
they'll
fusion,
finally
mate.
be-
Fuck.
they'll finally have to address Pendulum FTK after this because it's gonna be.
I mean, dual
rampant with them.
avatar is a clown shoes deck. I mean, you can play
No,
it, but you're not going to be
FTK
making the meta cut.
Pendulum FTK is not going to get it's not going to be the problem deck to emerge. I'm going to be very honest. I think the problem deck that's going to emerge pretty soon is whatever's happening with Machigi. Why did my brain just die?
Yeah, that's not a good description.
I will say
Alex.
this conversation is maybe because, like, man, I wish I was actually good at Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess, because, like, all this
No,
shit just going over my head.
The thing, oh god, my brain died. Oh yeah, whatever the current Sword Soul and Zodiac Triliths are need to be addressed.
Yeah, no, it's how the meta, because this is basically how the TCG meta was pre-Adventurer.
Because Drytron has taken a substantial hit because it dies like a bitch to Sword Soul Tenyi. That deck just clown chooses it.
Yeah, no, that's the funny thing. Like in the TCG, Drytron like entirely went out of favor around the Sword Soul Tenyi era because it's not a good matchup.
Yeah.
And they finally hit Ava
is
and
it
Ben
because,
10.
Is it because the Tennies do too much, or is that
No,
they can't
it's because
negate enough,
Ultimate negates and destroys, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
which
and they have a
triggers lot
bunch
the
of
Tenyi
Yeah,
effects.
Tenyi are
Yeah.
basically
they-
Yang Zing 2.0.
yeah, they want to be in the
Yeah,
graveyard. Gotcha.
full disclosure. I'm building a meta-adjacent rogue Sword Soul Yang Zing deck.
I
Which
should.
is
It's
not
been a long
the
time
optimal
since I
build.
booted up Master Duel. I should get in. I should buy the new Battle Pass. Get my gems in there. They've got some new packs and accessories. I should look at it. I think I'll do it
I forgot.
off
I never finished that
stream
first-
though because.
I never finished that second battle. Pass,
All right.
so-
You-
Excuse me, Axe. I'm fucking speaking to the stream chat. Thank you. But I need to work on that stuff and get it because it's an okay game. And maybe with Diamond added, I can actually get to Platy and get the Platinum border. I'll find
Oh.
some deck to fuck around in.
Oh god, now I have to go to.
Though I have to. I mean, maybe I'll get lucky like Robin. He's not here right now, but he might join us from his work phone later. But Robin was complaining that he's advancing to. I think he advanced to gold just by virtue of people who lose the coin flip just DCing immediately.
Oof.
So
I actually haven't encountered that yet.
I mean, Dallas, I have a question for you. Do you win coin flips?
Yes.
Okay. I don't ever win coin flips, so I'll never see that. But can you run Witchcrafter? They don't have their fusion monster yet in
I mean,
Master
you
Duel.
could, but I don't.
What do
Your
you just do?
Witchcrafter just
Magicalized
sounds
fusion
bad.
into Quintet?
I mean, I assume you play Witchcrafter Invoked.
Well, yeah, that is a
Because they're all
legitimate side
different
build.
elements. Like pure Witchcrafter, with no extra deck is. I'm just.
Well,
gonna
yeah,
say
no.
it's
Like
bad.
that has always been Witchcrafter's problem is they don't have their own extra deck package, and so yes, you can run Invoked there, but that means you're using up space for like Alistairs and Meltdowns. And yes, you can run Magicalized Fusion and do Quintet Magician Turbo, but that's not perfect. What do you do when you don't have the setup? They do have a fusion monster
Try.
coming, Vice Commander Hane, but God knows when that's going to hit Master Duel.
I mean,
anyway,
Destiny of Dark Lord is probably going to be a decent one.
We've vamped for like 15 minutes. Lost here now. I heard somebody crack a can. We may
was
want to talk
me.
about they revealed some Morphtronic support later. Actual Morphtronics, not just new Power Tool Dragon. But tonight we are here to talk to you about Master Guide 5 and Necroz.
I have seen nothing about Master Guide 5, so...
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that much about Necroz, because they kind of just happen.
Yeah, so I've skimmed the Master Guide 5 translation. It's very interesting. Our two choices I gave to the group was, based on what I understand about Master Guide 5, we could have started either with Yang Zing or Necroz. Necroz aren't actually detailed until a little bit later, but when they are explained, it is clear that they are a faction who is immediately active, like right after the whole, Sophia and the lights and the destruction and the Claven, all that stuff. Like, we know that Avance, Ariel, Amelia, and all that move on to basically make a new group along with Hexa.
Wait, wrong Amelia.
But also, Dallas was quite confused by this as our local Yang Zing player. But no, reading the Master Guide 5, no. Prana of the Yang Zing and the, first 8 Yang Zings emerging is supposed to happen, right after that. They are summoned by Constellar Sombra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they exist before we actually have a Shadal crisis. Which is interesting.
What do they do then? Because
I think they just hang out. They just exist.
Okay, so they just hang out until they're plot relevant again. Got it.
They just sit there, medicine.
Because the whole thing is they weren't really relevant until the Cleese came.
I mean, they were part of Necroz and Ritual Beast war against the Shadals. They were kind of part of it because we can't do Shadal until after Yang Zing and several other archetypes because some of the Shadals are ex-Yang Zings.
And we also have to do Zephyra because that is an archetype.
Kind of. I don't actually. I know it is an archetype, but I have the two Zephyra Necroz in this list because they are Necroz, and some of them are actually tied to it. It's really weird. But anyway, the rough idea you can see from this image. This apparently, by the way, was a mat produced for an open tournament in Singapore. But you can see kind of our theme here. Basically, the Necroz have the power of the Aquamirror and all those cool secrets. But now they're good. Now it's not evil anymore, so they're good. So they channel the power of dudes who are dead into magical scaly armor.
Good guys?
Yeah, no, they fight against Shadal.
I genuinely didn't know that.
Ancestral power armor.
Yeah, the alleged etymology for Necroz is necro plus cloth.
I'm gonna be honest. I guess just because of their playstyle, I assumed they were villains.
I mean, this is as is often the case in Yu-Gi-Oh. The people you think are the good guys are or the bad guys are just the asshole ones.
Because I mean, not spoiler for discussion later. The way this deck took tournaments and won, is douchey.
Yeah, the weird thing is, I mean, it's like Ice Barrier, right? Like, they have a lot of strong themes to Ice Barrier. You can see the Necroz versions of the 3 Ice Barrier dragons right here. They have a lot of strong control elements. They're all waters. They are definitely, the legacy of Gishki and Ice Barrier, which, yes, the Ice Barrier faction was part of the Allies of Justice, the good guys, but their deck was a crappy stun deck with an amazing extra deck. Gishki were allegedly on the side of good, but were definitely bad guys eventually. And
they didn't actually have a tournament deck.
No, but the closest they came was, hand loop FTK weirdness.
Yeah.
We're not bad guys, we swear.
But Necroz is is it fair to say it's a ritual control deck?
I would classify it more as an anti-extra deck.
True. That is another thing. We discussed, I think, off mic about the definitions of Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck types, and one of the ways that people who play Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually define control is anti-meta. Necroz was absolutely an anti-meta deck.
Yeah.
If you play out of the extra deck, fuck you.
Yeah. Necroz isn't a control deck in a traditional sense, because if you're playing a Nekro's mirror, it gets really fucky and weird.
You start playing one of Ice Barrier cards in that case.
Yeah, so Necroz According to Master Guide 5, ever since the last war, Necroz and Ritual Beast were protecting the land. Because everybody else was
One of
dead,
these
Dave.
were a relevant deck, and the other one is who?
Yeah, unfortunately, Ritual Beast... I mean, there were some builds...
I mean, they put up some tops, but the problem is this was right before a lot of meta-breaking decks came out.
Yeah, and as you saw, I played. If you've been watching
Like-
Prague, I played it once and immediately got blown out that 1 week because of Denko Seka.
Like, Necroz got pushed out of the meta.
Yeah.
To put it that way.
And to put a point on when this happened, so I will say this, technically the timeline is a little weird in the TCG.
Yeah, so makes you remember that shit.
SP pack, aka the what would eventually be rebranded as the deck build packs, which became Secret Forces, which was Necroz, Yosenju, and who the fuck was the third one? Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It was something, I don't remember it. So in the OCG, that came out before Secrets of Eternity. It was Ritual Beast, okay. So kind of nobody cares. In the meta sense, nobody cared. I mean, I will say this. Out of those 3 archetypes, unfortunately, Ritual Beast is the redheaded stepchild. Because, like, Senju got some action and...
Well, no, I would argue if you look at data, they got just as much as action as Senju. Now, does that mean they got any well-done action? Not really, no.
Okay, that's fair. I know Senju had a stun variant that was at least memorable. I don't actually know how prevalent it was.
I think it was more memorable than successful.
That's fair. That happens a lot with stun decks. But so, in the OCG, that pack came out first, and then was supported in Secrets of Eternity. In the TCG, Secrets of Eternity dropped first, which leads us to, on the way I organized this list by TCG release, the general pop culture memory, this block of cards came out first. So, this is Dance Princess of the Nekroz.
And if people are wondering what pushed Necroz out of the meta, it was Burning Abyss and Shadal. That's what pushed them out of the meta.
That and also somewhere in here, the really degenerate Jin ate a band.
Right. So this is Amelia. I post all of the Gishki.
This is Amelia in this generation. By the way, we're gonna see Avance later. Amelia's doing great. She's doing great for herself. I wonder if maybe the time she spent dead didn't count against her aging. You'll get that joke later. Trust me, chat. But yeah,
we put the mirror onto her forehead.
Yeah. I mean, she has multiple mirrors, but yeah. This is really interesting. When we do ritual monsters, I'll do the side-by-side comparison with their original form. Necroz is like a legacy deck for legacy decks. Like, everything they do is a reference to something else. She's not called it at all, but this is Amelia. She's got the mirror on her head. She's got the red hair. She's got the aqua mirror staff.
I think she's got the stat line, too.
Yeah, I think she has the same stat line. I believe you are correct as well. So, like, you know what's going on here. But that also means that I don't know if... I mean, there's kind of an aesthetic in that it makes sense because a lot of the named characters of the Nekroz are basically Gishki survivors who are also Ice Barrier survivors. So Nekroz's default aesthetic is basically Gishki, but less evil.
Yeah. Gishki, but we're actually decent.
A Gishki, but Amelia hugs her child.
Oof.
I guess whatever.
So, yeah, is there anything really to say about how she looks other than, Amelia?
Anime girl.
I mean, I'm just happy that she's, like, got out of, like, that part of her life, but that's just me.
Oh, I think it's a ghost, personally.
No, she came back to life. That's canon.
Okay.
She was resurrected at the end of...
Yeah, Noelia actually did something useful with her life and did a swapsies.
Oh, okay, someone in chat puts a best diet Gishki.
Well, don't say that. Don't I mean, aesthetically, sure, but don't. Gishki is technically, prototype Necroz. That's Necroz at home, if you want to think about it too hard.
Yeah, no, Gishki was, especially in a non-hand loop bullshit way, Gishki was never a thing.
Yeah, like, as a guy who played it a couple times in our format, Gishki is not a crazy powerhouse of a deck. Necroz got tops. I think some people even call... I believe this part of this era was referred to as Necroz format.
Yeah. It's not remembered very much because it was followed by two of the most memorable formats for very different reasons.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, yeah, it wouldn't have lasted very long.
Yeah, because then the Shadal's and Burning Abyss era came out.
Yeah.
And then Pepe happened, and everything died.
Yeah, because like I said, this was Secrets of Eternity, so we are now at the opening end of the Pend era, and whoa.
And
Woof.
At the back end of Dragon Ruler, right?
Yes, this would have been right about the time Dragon Ruler was killed, I believe.
Yeah, so this would have been...
And this is probably why Necroz format is not remembered very well, because it was kind of this weird, vague area before Pend decks got good, but after a lot of the late era Xyz decks kind of faded out. This would have been after Dragon Ruler, Zen, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dance Princess is Emilia. And so she is a water spellcaster, 4 stars, 1600 attack, 800 defense. I believe that is Emilia's stat line.
I believe so too.
Yes. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of a Necroz ritual spell card. Necroz ritual monsters you control cannot be targeted by opponent's effects. If this card is tributed by a card effect, target one of your banished Necroz monsters except Dance Princess, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Hey, there you go. This is explains Necroz right here. If this chick is tributed, you get to recycle a banished Necroz, except for her. And while she's face up on the field anyway, your opponent cannot fuck with your Necroz. They can't respond to your rituals. They can't target ritual monsters you control.
Yep.
I do not believe you actually necessarily did a lot of playing of her, because the way Necroz shook out with Djinns, it was a lot easier to abuse other ritual protection or lockdown effects, but she's still pretty decent.
Also, a lot of the Necros have inherent protection effect. That's the problem. Because a lot of the Necros can discard from hand to protect.
Yeah.
That's one
that
of
is,
their
by the way,
shticks.
we should bring this up. Vesperi's mentioned this before when talking about ritual decks, but in general, Necroz is Konami, in 2015, mind you, considering ritual is from the original season of the original anime. This is when Konami finally realized, hey, wait a minute, what if we give ritual monsters effects besides their summoning conditions and on-field effects so that they're not dead cards in your hand? Like, obviously,
Yes.
Gishki was the first wave of that. They tried giving ritual spells other kinds of effects, like Aquamirror can recycle itself. But this was the first time they actually, like, started giving hand traps to Necroz. Which, if there's nothing else to say about Dance Princess, we can actually go to her armor form, because that came out in Secrets of Eternity.
I was gonna have I had something I wanted to say, but I can't think of it now.
All right. Well, you can think about it for a hot second, because I've also got to pull up the card art this is based on, in case you forgore. You can also say that somebody said that like, you know, Gishki were the bad guys. It's spelled with an E, by the way. Somebody in chat asked it. So the other thing you could say about Necroz is you can consider Necroz as, like, what if Evil Sword was good? Because they're all water monsters.
Yeah. So, what
this
if
is Necroz of Gungear.
what if Emilia was also secretly a monster hunter?
Yeah, I don't know if it was meant to be a, like, Monster Hunter style reference, but certainly some of these ritual monsters are very much in that aesthetic as well.
Yeah.
Man, I really hate Konami's business practices, because I feel like I know who drew this art. And I think it's a fairly famous mangaka.
Possibly.
I don't remember her name.
What do you think they've done?
Well, I mean, what's the work you're thinking of?
Ray Earth.
Oh.
Magic Light Rare? Not sure.
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not familiar with that art style right away, but could be. I don't know. But yeah. So this is the format for the non-ritual monsters is just noun of the Necroz. So, you know, Dance Princess. I think that was like.
Oh yeah, that's what it was gonna be. I was gonna say. So apparently Amelia, when she gets ungishkied, is actually royalty? Question mark?
Yeah, she was the princess of them technically.
Yeah, it's what's the? I think it's a reference to because there was Dance Princess of the Ice Barrier, Mai Hime.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
right,
there's-
it's Clamp. I forgot.
I don't know if that's a clamp artwork. That's not quite noodly enough.
Yeah, but
But
do
yeah.
remember there's 4 different artists in Clamp, so...
I suppose it could be one of them. Yeah, they are a group. The same term is used for the Necroz version, Necroz no Mahime. I don't actually know. I know that dancing can be like a like Kagura dances and stuff is part of certain like Shinto rituals. I don't know if Mahime has any connection to that as a name or if it's just a whatever.
I just...
But yeah, I mean, much like how we use princess figuratively, the Japanese also do, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she and Avance founded the Necroz, so if she's called royalty, that makes sense. Especially because, spoiler, at least in English, Avance's title is Great Sorcerer of the Necroz. So, you know, her as princess, sure, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so,
Apparently,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Her design is actually pretty cool. She's got the long sleeve that kind of just goes down. She's wearing what looks like the neck bracelet of your neck.
Well, gun gear.
As a
This is
belt?
gun gear.
It's Gunner.
Oh, gun gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, whichever one.
But yeah, so the idea we talked about this earlier is their power as this tribe is that they can basically manifest magical armor, which has the essence of other creatures, and they are the first group who can control the ice barrier dragons for realsies this time. And it seems accurate because spoilers, a couple of the different Necrozes are the same guy doing different armors.
Welcome to the Monster Hunter archetype.
Yeah,
Yeah, we made that
Dallas
joke
made
already.
that joke already. But yeah, I
I did
agree.
not
Loth.
make that joke. Put words in my mouth, Omega. I did not make that joke.
No, I made that joke.
Oh right, David. You would have D names. I don't know.
You confuse yourself with Dallas. What the fuck, David?
No,
Dallas
Omega,
talks a lot.
Omega What is happening here?
Who's on first? But no.
Man, this feels like a Phoenix Wright trial.
Naruhodo,
Jesus.
naruhodo. So, gun gear design-wise, Necroz, Necroz of gun gear. Which again, I think with the etymology, if it's supposed to be like necro cloth, like this is like the format is Necroz of X for a ritual monster. So this is the Necroz of gun gear, whatever that means exactly. It looks like gun gear. I agree with what Loth said. It's pretty good. They did a really good job of kind of capturing its kind of like textured ice look on like her sleeves, even though they look kind of loose.
They grabbed his head, took out the jaw, and just wore it as a helmet.
I mean, that's very Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is I think this design is pretty neat, and you can definitely tell what it was, right?
You can see the ice mirror there.
Yeah. She got her ice mirror staff.
You can definitely tell the two components that made up this this monster.
Which
here.
is good, because that means that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki doesn't have to guess. Because they're bad at that. But yeah, is there anything else aesthetically to say about Necroz de Gungir?
No, looks good.
Okay. So Necroz of Gungir is a level 7 water spellcaster ritual. 2,500 attack, 1,700 defense. I believe that is the same stat line as Gungir himself. You
Sounds
can
right.
ritual summon this card with any Necroz ritual spell. Must be ritual summoned without using any level 7 monsters. So basically, you can't do it 1-for-1.
Well, you can 1-for-1 it if you overpay.
Yes, if a ritual spell will allow that. And I haven't looked at the Necroz spell, so I'm not sure. But
I'll look them
I
up
think
real quick.
the intent here is you can't do something that I believe was fairly popular with a lot of ritual decks at the time, which is you can't just jam ARA and a level 7 vanilla.
Yeah.
It also means you can't pitch one copy of that monster.
Yeah, you
for
can't
the
you
second
can't
copy.
Gungir for Gungir, which is also very common.
Yeah.
Gishki did that a lot in their loops, so probably what Konami was trying to avoid. You can only use each of these effects of Necroz of Gungnir once per turn. Quick effect. Discard this card. Target one Necroz monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. Which is what Dallas was talking about earlier with inbuilt protection effects. That's not as blanket as Dance Princess, but still a fairly good response, especially if this is a dead card in your hand.
Also, it's a hand trap that you don't need to... And because of a certain card, it's very easy to get access to this.
Yeah.
So that's one for exact levels. I'm looking at the ritual spells real quick.
Okay. We'll probably pull them up, but if one of them leaps out at you, you can mention which one it is, because we'll cycle back there. Second effect
The thing is, all of the ritual spells... This is one of the few archetypes, I think, where all of their ritual spells have been used.
Yes, they're all good in their own way.
All of their will specify that they have to have exact levels.
There's a lot of ritual archetypes, even if the overall archetype is good. A lot of them have one ritual spell that's like, we don't use that one.
Yeah. Its second quick effect is its on-field effect. Quick effect, discard a Necroz card, target one card in the field, destroy it. So her own version of Gungnir's effect to discard and pop, but better because it still requires you to discard a specific card. That can be dead ritual spells, mats you don't need, and it's a quick effect pop, which is very good. So you guys are beginning to see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so give me a second. I'm just going to pull the card arts for the 3 ritual spells, because Cycle came out in Secrets of Eternity, and then the other 2 were in Secret Forces anyway, so we'll just do all 3 right now. Because he would have had access to basically all of them at the same time. Let me shrink this down very slightly.
But yeah, all of them require exact levels.
That's Necroz Cycle.
Yes.
I don't think Mirror got used as much, if I'm going by our matches with Necroz.
I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was 2, 2, and 2.
2 each.
I mean, the main thing is, I think all of these were high rarity, and we have a limited format, so there was no guarantee that you would be getting
general
the right ratios.
Ritual rates were 2, 2, and 2. What is modern ritual where it's out of curiosity? Still 2, 2, and 2.
Speaking of which, this is Necroz Mirror.
So they're all useful. Well, that makes sense because they look like they use different resources to fuel their.
And certainly, like we said, with using Gungnir as an example, that requires you to discard Necroz cards. So even the ritual spells are not necessarily dead cards in your hand, depending on what ritual monsters you've summoned already.
Yeah.
Now, boy, fucking Kaleidoscope. This is an anime-ass shot. Okay.
Yeah.
It is. It's.
Kaleidoscope's one of those cards because it's a secret rare print, so it's like it's all blurry normally, and then you actually look at it blown up, and you're like, "What is this anime shit?" Okay, so here's our triangle: Necroz Cycle, Necroz Kaleidoscope, Necroz Mirror. Mirror is just the Aqua Mirror, but
Necroz Kaleidoscope just looks like an anime opening.
Yeah, no, like if this was an anime, this would be in the opening because that's spoilers. That's Shurit. With the 3, even though he is not Necroz of Gungnir, funnily enough, looking at the, reflections of the 3 Ice Barrier Dragons.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what's supposed to be going on in Cycle. It looks like Dance Princess is slurping on some gem juice.
Sipping on genie juice.
I think he's, empowering a gem.
I assume it's the magical girl transformation into...
okay.
I think he's in front of a ritual
No, this
thing.
is a plot thing later.
Okay.
So, we talked about how we didn't figure out what Karen Gorgon's deal was. That's covered in Master Guide 5. So Karen.
Oh, she's reviving him. Okay.
No, not him specifically, but after he becomes El Shaddai Grista, because Karen Gorgon is the remnants of Master Diamond, who wanders around the world being evil. So Evil Storm Kirkion is like, hey, that's my old buddy Master Diamond. Oh no, I made a huge mistake. And he gets eaten, and Karen Gorgon becomes Shaddai Core. And then eventually, I believe the core reinvigorates Master Diamond / Karen Gorgon once more into Grista. So in Necroz Cycle, Dance Princess is trying to revive, turn El Shaddai Grista into Master Diamond again.
The way that's portrayed, does that mean that like the Gem Knights accidentally created the Shaddals?
I'll have to recheck the lore when we get to Shaddai. I think it's more just like the
always
body of
existed?
Master Diamond ended up with the leftover evil goo, but I'm not sure. We'll get there.
Yeah,
Eventually.
But
eventually.
so we'll jam through these ritual spells really quick. Necroz Cycle can be used to summon any Necroz ritual monster. Tribute monsters from your hand or field. Then ritual summon one Necroz monster from your hand or graveyard whose level exactly equals those levels of monsters. You can activate Necroz Cycle once per turn. If you control no monsters, banish this card and one Necroz monster from your graveyard. Add a Necroz spell from your deck to your hand. So Cycle lets you summon your rituals from hand or graveyard if you've pitched them for their hand trap effects. But you have to tribute monsters who are exact from hand or field. And then it has a graveyard effect. You can banish it and a Necroz monster to add any Necroz spell from your deck to your hand. And remember, Dance Princess, when she's tributed, lets you recycle a banished monster. So, you know, giving you resources. This is a pretty decent ritual spell. Like we said, they all do kind of different things.
Yeah.
Kaleidoscope is probably the one you remember most because it's probably one of the freaky deakiest. So Kaleidoscope is tribute one monster from your hand or field, or send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. After that, also ritual summon any number of Necroz monsters whose total level exactly equals the level of that monster. You can only use this effective Kaleidoscope once per turn. If you control no monsters, banish this card Necroz monster from your graveyard, add a Necroz spell to your deck to your hand. So they all cycle themselves out. So Kaleidoscope is the flashy one where you know, yeet an Armatile or some other, like, level 12 guy in your extra deck so you can bring out multiple Necroz from your hand at once. It's not necessarily the best, but I suspect this one is probably remembered the most because it's the one that is... This is the most Yu-Gi-Oh!
Truly,
I pitch
One that enables the most bullshit.
for my extra deck to summon 3.
I mean, I would argue that the best is technically whatchamacallit?
What,
Cycle?
Cycle or Mirror?
Cycle, I think.
Yeah, Cycle's pretty good.
Because the problem with Kaleidoscope is it requires really weird math.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think people remember Kaleidoscope the most because that's the most Yu-Gi-Oh! Fucking thing.
Oh, it's also the most unique. Like, no other archetype has that.
Yeah, I'm gonna... I think the closest we get is Dogmatica gets some interesting send from your extra deck mechanics. But it's not the same, right? It's not... I'm gonna activate Necroz Kaleidoscope. I'm gonna ditch a Cyber Dark Dragon, or a Cyber End Dragon, or some other ludicrous level 12 fusion monster, and be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna ritual summon a 9 and a 3.
Or even nowadays, I'm gonna pitch an Atis. I'm gonna summon something and then pop something.
Yeah. Which does work because I believe there is a 4. But anyway.
Oh, right. Natis is a 4.
Yeah.
Well, there is.
They're
4,
all the entities are 4s. It's like they're
no,
built
of course
around.
they are.
Necroz Mirror is our last one. Tribute monsters from your hand or field, and or banish Necroz monsters in your graveyard, and then ritual summon a Necroz monster from your hand who exactly equals those levels. And if it's you control no monsters, you can banish it to
and
cycle
also,
a spell.
you wouldn't send just to clarify on David, you wouldn't send Entis, you'd send Herald of Arclight because it searches. It does have a second effect other than just the negate. It searches ritual monsters when you pitch it.
Yeah, that's another thing is you can... I suspect what they were going for with Kaleidoscope is you would, like, pitch Trishula to summon Necros of Trishula kind of thing. That's not what people do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it would be funny if you, like, pitched Quasar or Star Eater, but I also don't suspect people did not do that, because... Usually in Yu-Gi-Oh, why you do those weird things is because you want something cheap. So
no, people ran like one. No. They did run the big ones. Usually it was like more of the 12s because they could get 2 6s out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they did run some of the big guys. They just also ran Herald of Arclight because that part is good in ritual decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let us continue down the list of the monsters. speaking of people who got an arguable glow up, this
A glow up
is
question mark.
Exa, Enforcer of the Necroz. You may remember this guy when he was a fucking newt, is Hexa Newt of the Ice Barrier. And also, Hexa Spirit of the Ice Barrier, and also, no, I don't think he didn't actually make it to any Gishki art. He looks a little bit like some of the Gishki guys, but no, he is
Gishki Shadow, I think.
Yeah, but this is Hexa Spirit of the Ice Barrier, all grown up, and allegedly wearing X-Saber Arabellum's gear.
Allegedly. We say allegedly because the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki cannot be trusted.
Yeah. But yeah, considering, like I mean, we didn't know what his baby form was like until they revealed it like 5 years later, but, you know, he was a literal ice salamander. Now he is a large dragon man. One of the reasons I make my jokes about Scalys in the title.
Yeah.
The other reason is law.
No.
I mean, fair, but ouch.
But I once again, I want to say, notice this man's pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tight leather
got, like,
pants.
Why is he wearing?
I was going to say, it
leather
looks like he
pants?
has like some weird like Garo crest on his fucking crotch.
God damn it!
No,
I'm now
it's
thinking
just
about
he's got
one.
leather straps.
No, that is just his bulge.
No, his power comes from his leather shoes.
Also, can I point out, why are your Wolverine claws bent? That bothers the shit out of me.
Yeah, they are. I was just thinking
That's
that they
not
are
effective.
so curved. You can't do shit with
'Cause-
those.
Because
I mean,
it's not
like,
like they're not
aren't hooked.
hooked. They're not hook pointed because they would have points.
I thought
at them.
I thought that's what they're going for is like the hook.
Yeah, but you need the point part.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
think
hook
they're
work.
going for a fish hook, but they're not. Fish hooks have
they
a
would-
much bigger curve and come around. This is
They
like,
also have a point at the end of it too.
I mean, these have a sharp point.
No, I mean like at the bend.
Oh yeah, no, that's
They have-
also
they have a
like, yeah,
tip,
a
is
lot
what
of
it
a
That's
lot
the
of
issue.
a lot of even melee weapons with curves. Like if you've ever seen like a tiger hook sword that has like 5 points on it, you can do a lot
Yeah.
with those. These are just
No,
weird.
these are purposefully bad.
We made it wrong as a joke.
I mean, look at his
Basically.
little dragon face. Exa is so happy to have these claws. Though. Look-
I'm here to help, guys.
no wonder
He's
this guy
so-
gets the Dragooni Divine Lance later.
I was more gonna say that of. He's the guy in the anime opening that is doing like the jumping whirlwind spin attack midair.
Well,
Oh,
at
absolutely.
least this guy gets he gets to wear the Allies of Justice armor.
Yeah, he has some interesting armored forms. I also noticed he's just got the mirror chained to his chest like as a fashion statement.
So he can do chest
It's
beams.
interesting.
Yeah. And somebody asked in the chat, I think it was a while ago, but yeah, as far as I know, he does not. I double-checked the trivia. He does not have an explicit Gishki version. He looks like Gishki Shadow or...
They gave him a prequel.
Well, he's
going.
definitely not chained because we know what happened to him.
No. Like, I assume this kind of weird Dragon Man subspecies, this, you know, this D&D-ass Dragonborn is, like,
This
supposed to be endemic to the Ice Barrier people and then thus the
I
Gishki
more
people.
thought he was.
but-
I more thought he was a Sahagin, honestly, but fair.
Oh, well, he's Dragon type spoilers,
wrong
but
company.
Okay.
also no.
he was a newt, but he got better.
He's got a full-blown dragonic muzzle and he's got like a long tail. I would think Dragonborn looking at this,
Water dragon.
you know.
Yeah. As you
He's
do
not.
in
I don't think he
Iceberg.
burninates the countryside, so this is no Trogdor, but
Well,
Yeah.
judging by his skin, he breathes lightning. So
true. He is a water dragon. That's literally
no,
true, by the way.
he's a desert dragon.
Here's a blue dragon.
But he's literally
on,
a
wait.
water type.
No, blue dragons are desert.
D&D, what the fuck? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. What are the
They,
aquatic dragons?
Well, no, they're the dragons of. It actually does make sense.
Lightning
the
dragon.
aquatic dragon doesn't make any sense. Green. Well, no, black kind of. Black is swamps. There's not. I don't think chromatic
It's more
has
based
a
off the
water.
damage type than anything.
No, chromatic.
I
doesn't
mean,
have a
I've always
water-going dragon.
the way I've always done it is blue is water because it's there.
No, blue is one of the most explicitly. They're definitely the desert.
That's so weird.
Like they live in
I
like
mean,
desert
that's
caves.
Because
and-
it's a
Oh, well,
lot to do with,
I
like,
guess there's
lapis,
no-
It's like lapis lazuli, a lot of that kind of like azure.
Yeah, I mean, when I do dragons, I just add brown dragons or something who can go in like mountains and
Well,
deserts. I
no,
guess.
there's a metallic. I think it's brass or in
Yeah,
the
I believe it's
water.
brass.
Grass, copper.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah.
metallics are in the water. They're just the chromatics don't have
Yeah.
one.
Which
I
makes
mean,
sense.
okay,
I
it's-
assume it would be brass because that's one of the metals that doesn't rust or tarnish as easily.
I mean,
I
it's
think
And
that's-
so that's why
it's
you use it on ships.
it's probably fine in
It's
D
brass
and
or
D
copper,
because
I
they
can't
have
remember.
Tiamat to just
Uh,
excuse like all the dragons ever, but dragons that are the ocean is blue, y'all. If dragons are not blue, they don't have natural camouflage. And don't you go bullshit me that dragons are apex predators. They have a challenge rating. They die.
Well, to be fair, there are a couple other dragons that just don't have natural camouflage either. Like the fuck's a red dragon gonna live?
In a volcano.
I
know,
mean,
volcanic
they generally don't have. They're like gold dragons. Those are the two that don't have natural habitats.
I don't know.
just
I mean,
the
I don't know
dragon
why.
royalty.
I feel like
I don't either.
yeah, it's. Anyway, we're
Why-
not here.
why
We're
is
not
it-
here to dive into D&D Dragonology and whether or not it makes sense.
I'll go very quickly.
Hey.
White and silver are snowy mountains because that makes
Hey, Mom.
sense.
Yeah, Martha.
Green and I'm so bad with metallic dragons. Green and one of the ones I don't give a shit
I'm gonna
about.
grab my
I think it's
3.5
copper.
book real
Well,
quick.
what is green? I mean, I'm probably not the
they're
same. What does green
forests.
breathe?
Yeah, green is
Poison.
acid.
No, green is poison.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Black is acid.
Yes, poison damage is not acid damage.
And black is swamps.
Oh, never.
Oh, okay.
that's gonna fit
So,
then.
funnily enough, at least I think as of our current edition, Dallas, the reason why you can't think of the metallic is because it doesn't exist anymore. There is no literal equivalent to green dragons that are metallic.
Right,
currently.
I forgot I hated a lot of what they took out of 5th ed.
I assume it's because it's poison. Chemical weapons and bioterrorism is not good
Well,
aligned.
the thing
guys.
is, like, metallic dragons didn't used to be good. Well, most of them, gold
They
dragons,
used to be
were,
not
but
evil.
they used to just
Apparently-
not be dicks.
Apparently, brass.
That was the difference. It wasn't good and evil. It was
They were just
evil
non-evil.
and
Non-evil.
Apparently,
neutral.
brass is the desert one.
yeah, it's brass is the city of brass.
Which I get, but again, if you were to have an aquatic one, you'd want it to be brass because
Well, I assume it's copper then. That is aquatic.
I mean, yeah, copper will tarnish. It won't.
Hmm.
It'll kind of rust, but
I
it
mean, the
doesn't rust
dragons are not
like
literally covered in metal,
Yeah,
David.
they're not literally
I
made.
know.
of-
I
just-
get it, but also
So, what?
We're- If you want shit that doesn't make sense, we can go into their powers.
It's bronze dragons.
Cold gives you the ability to control gravity.
Bronze dragons
copper
are.
is upper dry uplands
Anyway,
and hilltops.
guys.
I mean, I literally
I know.
answered it. Do I need to up my gain? Am I
No,
unheard by
you
people?
did.
No,
You did.
sorry.
It's
No,
fine.
they're just being themselves.
Copper is the equivalent of green. That's what it was.
Guys,
Anyway, moving
I mean,
on.
Martha's here. Exa. This is a level 5 water dragon, 2k attack, 1000 defense. Not a great stat line for a level 5,
Anyway,
guys.
I need to step away for a little bit. I'll be back.
If this card is tributed by a card effect, you can add one dragon-type Necroz ritual monster from your deck to your hand, which is basically, I think, just his ritual forms, because you may have noticed that Gungir was spellcaster like Dance Princess. If this card is banished, you can target one of your banished Necroz monsters except this card. Special summon that monster. You can only use one Exa effect per turn, and only once that turn. So, pretty decent effect. He lets you get extra guys back on board if they're banished. The tribute to cycle effect is interesting, but I don't... How popular were Necros of Decisive Armor and Necros of Catastor?
Which ones?
what's the summoning limitation?
Catastor and Decisive Armor.
Exa Catastor was fairly popular because of his level. Decisive Armor was like a one of.
Because
like
those are X's forms, so I assume those are the ones who are...
Well, the
Dragon
reason
type.
the reason what's his face Catastor was popular is because you could get two of them off Kaleidoscope pretty easily and then go
Yeah.
into a rank 5 Xyz.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, Exa seems like an okay card. You know, I don't know if you're ever out here like normal summon him, but he does have a special summon when tributed effect that's good.
I think he was run because of yeah, he was run at 1
Yeah,
generally.
he's like he seems like a good one of if you can pull him off, but his actual like searching effect is not the greatest because he's not searching necessarily the most popular ones. All right, so let's talk about our next main deck boy. This is why I wonder. I said I wondered if Amelia's like being dead time didn't count against her aging. This is Grand Sorcerer of the Necroz. Dude, advance. What the fuck? Did you go to Tatooine, bro?
This feels like a bit much.
Did you get blasted by Time Wizard? What the fuck, dude?
He didn't seem that old. What the?
Yeah,
like,
your
was
wife
like- he
aged
was like-
way better than you. Now it's funny. He has a ritual form. That's Necroz of Valkyrus, which looks a lot better.
It's very Bishonen.
Doesn't he become like young in that one?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got an eye patch and he's got a close cut beard. He looks much more like an anime dad. But
The book does say this is Advance, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure this is canonical. Yes, this is the Necroz version of Gishki Advance. Same level, attribute, type, attack, defense, same sword.
Okay, so that's
okay.
why Zed called
So-
Amelia a gilf. Okay.
Honestly, it could be the thing that she just grew a beard and like he just looks a bit aged and like. The
I mean, he
handsome
did
face.
have pale hair, but like
I
he
will
is
say,
very wrinkly and beardy.
I will question that because Amelia still looks about 7. So this dude's on a list somewhere.
Dallas,
Yeah.
you know, you're just bullshitting. You need to like actually put a legitimate number to that, not to say something.
Okay,
Yeah.
like 10.
I mean, I don't think so. In
Looks like
Gungear,
he's
she
17.
does have a slim form
Well,
as
not in
Dance
Gung
Princess.
in Gung here. In Dance Princess,
But
she looks 10.
I think Dallas is doing in Australia right now, and he's like, if this girl has no titties, she's under 18.
Well, no,
Because
I'm
Amelia
doing the,
is very slim.
I'm doing
I mean,
the
look.
Japan creepy fucking. No, she's actually a 300-year-old vampire. That
in this
always
case,
bothers me in everything.
Omega,
Well, this
look,
case,
I
she
know
looks like she's, like,
Australians can be
17.
dumb as fuck, but we're not that dumb yet.
No,
the
your government
Austra-
is that
no,
dumb. Loft, do you not know that about your own
Australia one was-
laws?
Yeah, if you have a certain bust size, you can't do porn.
Yeah, it's
What?
yeah, no.
Yeah.
If your boobs are too small, they're like it's enabling pedophilia.
Which,
It's
to me,
illegal in this
that
country.
doesn't make any sense because
No.
that doesn't say anything about the rest of your body. You could look like an Amazoness, and if you had a mastectomy, it's like, okay, you can't do it. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's weird.
Like, if you wanted to ban the, like,
I would.
barely legal crap, like, I don't know.
I'm wondering
be
because
as
I'm like
weird.
that's the wrong one. God, I hate you so much, Konami, because Dance Princess of the Ice Barrier is such a nothing card. But it's somehow the first when I enter the phrase Dance Princess, because I guess I is before N. But like, let me look at this card art for. Yeah, I'm just wondering if maybe there's some timeline confusion because like. Dance Princess of the
wondering that
Necroz
too.
looks like Gishki Amelia right after she came back to life, but as
And
Gungear of
when they were making the
Necroz,
Necroz,
as Gungear of Necroz, she actually like looks, taller. I think she's got like a little bit, longer arms and fuller body. She still has a slim figure, and that's not censored
yeah,
by the way. But it's
like,
like, I
Like,
don't
she
know.
looks like a normal, like, woman.
Yeah,
as
whereas,
opposed to a child.
But and then once again,
She
we
doesn't
talk
look like
about
a
how
child.
like
Yes, she does.
as Gishki Advance. No, Dallas is a little bit right. Like I can pull her card art back up, but I just double
again,
checked.
I
She
see her as,
actually
like,
has like a very soft
15 to
facial
18,
features.
but
That's a
the
child!
You are not an
There
adult
are
at
laws
18.
there!
okay. It's just when I
And
think of
if the-
child, I
and
think I'm
before
saying like an
chat-
actual 10-year-old, which is
before
different.
chat,
No,
before
it
chat
isn't.
says anything to me, I don't care if it's illegal where you are, it's still fucking creepy. And you're a fucking creep. So eat my
I mean,
ass.
The youngest we've got here is 16, and I still think it's creepy.
It's weird. I mean, there's also like social limits
okay,
there, but
I
no,
more meant that as a design thing, but
but that's
because
not.
there's,
What, I mean, that's
a
not
lot of,
what
like,
the discussion about. The discussion is about the
Okay.
fact that in her card art, Dance Princess does look fairly young. She looks like she could still be in her like mid-teens. Great Sorcerer is fucking old looking.
Yes.
Which I
And then,
I
like-
have to assume that either maybe the artist didn't communicate about their timeline, or these cards are
Or
supposed to be
Japan.
from radically different. Well, no, like we said, as Necroz of Gungir, she looks older.
Yeah, no, that's
And I will say this,
It looks like she's in her 20s, 30s.
Spoilers
yeah.
for Shurit. We're gonna see him as a like 5-year-old bobbleheaded child. He's like 3 different dudes as the ritual forms, so clearly he ages
Yeah.
up at
so
some point.
weird.
So
Like,
I do
there's
not know
very
what the
much,
fuck
yeah.
the timeline of Necroz is supposed to be. It is actually
Or
weird.
if
over,
when they
like,
transform,
multiple
they
decades.
age down or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, there's not really much to say about Sorcerer. He is once again a discount discount Gishki, literally. His staff looks hella evil. And he.
I mean, he looks like a fucking Sentai villain.
It looks like a sage, is the way I put it.
Or like a necromancer.
I mean, yeah, no. I mean, this is definitely the guy when you're playing that VR
It's
MMO.
his
You
Gishki
can,
plug.
when you're, but his mother was the cool one. She died early.
Yeah. It's got the Gishi aesthetic, though, so he looks like an old
Well,
Gishi
yeah.
sage.
It's true. He looks like a Gishki weirdo. But the joke I was going to make is when you play that VR MMO and you get to the end of that first dungeon, this is the guy who steps out, definitely. This is the guy who told you, good luck, I'm behind 9,000 skeletons.
But also, like, is actually at the end, like later, like the end is like actually your ally.
Or is one of the 4 generals.
Maybe. But yeah,
Well, his
so,
armor's really ornate. That's more why I say it.
true. He does have giant pauldrons.
He has bling.
I wonder what they're made of. Anyway, Great Sorcerer is a level 4 water spellcaster. And despite being a Great Sorcerer, he still has his original advanced stat line, so he sucks. He has 1,500 attack, 800 defense. If this card is tributed by a card effect, you can add 1 spellcaster type Necroz ritual monster from your deck to your hand. That's pretty good. Quite a few of them are spellcasties.
Yeah.
If this card is banished, you can send 1 Necroz monster from your deck to your graveyard, except Great Sorcerer. You can only use 1 effect per turn and only once that turn. So you probably
This
don't.
actually played fairly consistent.
Yeah, you probably don't want to actually like put him on the board, but his
No.
tribute and banish effects are pretty good because he lets you search
Yeah.
Necroz spellcasters.
He's a good engine card.
Yeah.
And a lot of Necroz, some of the, I shouldn't say a lot, some of the Necroz ritual monsters have grave effects.
Yes, so he is a foolish, and also he searches other spellcaster ritual monsters, which is, like I said, I believe technically a bulk of them because a lot of them are.
It makes him a credible engine card.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I heard that the first time.
And now, not our last main deck monster, but our last one that's gonna make sense.
Uh-oh.
Because the
Is
other
it the
two,
child?
yes, because the other two have Zephyra in their name, so we're gonna be very confused.
True.
Okay, this one is actually a child. What I mean by time-wise.
I mean-
Yeah, no, this is Shurit, Strategist of the Necroz.
I'm
This
gonna
boy
be
is
very
12.
real.
This
I
boy
don't
is
see-
12.
I don't even know if
see
he's
very
12.
much of a difference between him and Amelia's ages.
No, there is some. They have different body proportions. Notice how big his head is. Amelia's head's not that
He's
big.
turned that mirror into a sword.
It's like this boy
Yeah.
is 12 while she's like 17.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the problem with Amelia is her face looks like a child.
It's true.
Yeah.
She has a very
Yeah.
soft face that does not alter.
I think that's just the art style, but yeah.
She's very baby face.
Yeah,
But
it
let's
also-
Dallas, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up about Amelia. Let's move on to
Okay.
Shurit, please. People are trying to talk about him.
Yeah.
What, the anime protagonist card?
The what was it called? What? Forget the terminology for someone who has 2 colored eyes.
Heterochromia.
Heterochromia, that's it.
Yeah.
I like
I
that
never-
sort of color thing, which is sort of the going with the fiery red, sort of the dark fiery red with the icy blue.
And I believe that is one eye color from each parent. He also has their
Yeah.
blended hair colors, you know,
Right.
'cause that's how
Why did
anime
I-
genetics work.
I never pieced it together that he was their kid. But
Yes,
he
yes,
also has
this
like
is-
2 heirs too, yeah.
It is not explicitly stated, I don't think, in the Master Guide, but it is heavily implied that Shurit is Avance and Amelia's kid. So this is a like this guy's like 4 generations removed from Ice Barrier, and they gave him a sword with a mirror in it.
Alternatively, if you want a really fucked up backstory, it's Vance's and Noelia's kid.
I don't think that's true though, because
That's
Necroz
not
is
true,
trying
but
to
it'd
be.
be-
That would make sense, considering.
But this
Well-
guy is. I mean, this was 2015, so it makes sense. But this guy is anime as fuck. He
Oh, no,
has
yeah.
a
This is
long coat and
literally
a
a
giant sword for no
like,
reason.
And he has heterochromia. He has dual
I want to
colored
bring up
hair,
how like I feel like this is
He
also
has a
just be,
trench coat.
Okay, tell me if this would make sense. If this looks like this would just be the anime character in the series that just plays Necroz.
No, this is an anime character that is a fuckboy.
I
This
mean,
is the
well,
Kirito of Yu-Gi-Oh.
But
Also, I will
Dallas,
say,
Dax did
I
just
don't
say he
think
would
that-
play Necroz in the anime.
No, because Necros requires a lot of planning and forethought.
This
This
is
guy would play Eldritch Stun.
Strategist,
That
Dallas.
wouldn't exist yet.
Fair enough. Yeah, but the
I
people
mean-
like that are never as smart as they think they are.
Though I
But
will say
also,
that is, by the way, a
Stun
translation.
Eldritch is a strategy.
I
Maybe
would say
he
also, by
played
the way,
Eldritch.
that is a translation. He is Jutsushi in Japanese, caster of the Necroz. I think they didn't want to put the word cast a deadly spell in there, or they were just like, caster of Necroz sounds dumb.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
Also, it doesn't make sense because he's a
I
warrior with
look
a
at
sword.
I look at Fate in the distance. It's like, yeah, caster. I guess is a weird term.
I
Well,
mean,
no,
it-
it's because he has a sword.
it's also not the same because in
And we've also repeatedly mocked Fate for the thing of like, why does this caster have a sword?
well, archers, using swords, but no, in Japanese, caster is
The
caster.
classes are still limiting.
This
What are you
actually has a
talking
Japanese
about?
term that I don't know the translation for, but
What else are archers supposed to use?
They don't use it. Archers don't have a defined class weapon.
Projectile
You can't prove
weapons.
me wrong.
ranged attacks. Anyway, the other thing I would say about Shurit's aesthetic is he could also, like a lot of people are saying, like shonen protagonist and all that stuff. Also, absolutely, he could be, a budget JRPG protagonist.
Honestly, he
yeah.
looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist.
I mean, he's
I'm
got
not
a
gonna
That's what I
lie.
was saying. He looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh. He'd be like part of a part of a Yu-Gi-Oh main cast.
but like I could absolutely see the like dual terminal JRPG where like anime mom and anime dad are like blah 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 world problems. Oh no, we've been kidnapped by Shadals. Help us, our 12-year-old son with a giant sword.
I must now leave to protect
Does,
my
does
family's
Amelia
honor.
become an
Well,
anime
I
mom?
don't-
Is Amelia
don't
become an
think that-
anime mom who
Actually, I don't
died
think
only
so.
in her backstory?
I don't know about that. Well, I mean, I guess she died in her backstory, but like we'll talk
Yeah.
about Amelia's different transformations
Yeah.
later.
So, I
Amelia
don't
doesn't.
think that sword is actually that large. It's just that he's...
Yeah,
Kinda small.
I would say I think it's a normal sized, belt
Long
sword,
sword?
but
Yeah.
he is a child, so the fact that it's like 3.5 feet long means
So,
that it's most
I
of his
have this
body
dumb.
mass.
I have this dumb thing in my head of how like he pulls it out. There's actually a blade. It's just the mirror.
No, it actually has a blade. Though.
I know.
No.
I know. I just. That's, I mean,
It's
he,
a
like, just
funny
looks at the mirror
idea,
and
but
summons
no,
it.
we
He
unfortunately
like
know
pulls
it
it
has
out,
a
just
blade.
looks at the mirror and transforms.
The mirror does appear to do the stuff, but yeah. So
is the-
anything else to
it
say
is the
about
Necroz
his
mirror.
aesthetic?
Not really.
Okay.
Also, I think you forgot a main deck monster.
Got some layers.
Oh yeah, that's true. We do have to deal with. So there is Ariel, but she's way fucking later. She's not until like 2 years later.
Oh, right, she's in maximum crisis.
It's weird.
Forgot about that.
It's very weird. But yes, there is a
Why did
Necroz
they give
Ariel as
Nec-
well. It's just they forgot. Konami forgot about it for like 2 years. Rip.
Oh, Advance
Why,
for
why
Resurrect.
did,
Advance put his
why
mom
did
back.
they give Necroz a thing in Maximum Crisis? Like,
Why
we
do they keep
just
giving
got-
Gladiator
I
these
mean,
things
you
every
say
year?
that now,
Yeah.
David, but I would like to. The latest Necroz support was last year, Necros of Aradbar. So,
Well,
like,
okay, but they've been
what?
all about giving random archetypes random support.
Wait, I thought Aradbar was before last year.
No, it was 2021. I
Oh,
mean, it
right,
might
it
have been a
was in that- it
promo
was
in the
in,
OCG earlier, but it was in Ghost from the
that,
Past.
That one set that everything got support in.
Yeah, it was from Ghost to the Past.
No,
Oh, okay,
I
so
mean,
different
Fuck,
set.
that's
No, it was
that
not
make-
Blazing
that
Vortex, but it
actually
was a
makes
Ghost in the
sense if
Past.
you're
I
gonna-
think it was a promo card like originally, but there was a lot of stuff that got cycled into that. Anyway, we'll talk about that way later. We are like right at the
Yeah.
start of all the actual Necroz monsters. So Shurit, Strategist of Necroz, he is a level 3 water warrior. Also probably why caster was not a good translation because what the fuck, Konami. He has
Yeah.
300 attack, 1800 defense. If he's supposed to be like their brains of their operation, I guess that makes sense. He has a decent defense stat, but not a good attack stat.
I guess they could have done like Summoner of the Necroz.
Possibly. Anyway, if you ritual summon exactly one Necroz ritual monster with a card effect that requires use of monsters, this card can be used as the entire requirement. This is worded very weirdly, but
Wait,
basically
wait.
if you Necroz summon a Necroz ritual monster, because I think didn't one of the Aqua Mirrors let you pay life points for a water ritual monster?
I believe so.
That was not, and it was not necessarily Gishki locked. Or maybe Konami was just future proofing. But basically, if you want to summon one Necroz ritual monster with a card that requires you to tribute monsters, he is the entire tribute.
I
He
kind of
is-
see a thing of. I guess they
Go
could have called him Channeler of the Necroz, because I really see a thing of like. I know in like some later archetypes, they put a thing where they give an actual legitimate game effect to a card, but it's also meant to tie into what their lore is.
Yeah.
Really see a thing of it's like this kid has like the potential to be the most effective of the mirrors, so it's like. It's why he's
Well,
relevant
he does. He clearly lives a while because he goes through a couple different forms, but we'll get to there
Yes.
shortly. Actually, the second effect is if this card is tributed by a card effect, you can add one warrior Necroz ritual monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, Shurit is also played decently. He is a single tribute card. He counts as the entire requirement. I believe that overrides the fact that they need exact levels. And he cycles you warrior rituals, again, which there are quite a few of. So, we will now proceed in the order of the alphabetical.
Things alphabetical and theoretical.
So, once again, speaking to how Shurit does some different things. This is Necroz of Brionac. You can tell it is Shurit because of his heterochromia.
Yeah.
And I will bring up Brionac in case anybody needs to remember what the fuck that guy looks like.
Ah, yes, it's one of those cosplayers.
Yes, all the jokes we made about Gungir apply to Brionac as well.
Are you sure that's Brionac? You sure that's not a Blue Eyes?
Yeah, his
I
eyes are not
mean,
blue.
Or
It's not
white.
It is definitely not a Kaiba man. He is not wearing a trench coat.
That's true.
You can't be
That's-
Kaiba man if you don't have a white trench coat.
Yeah.
But yes, you are correct that this is definitely like man with dragon fetish in dragon suit is definitely the direction Necroz are going. I do notice that he's still wearing his trousers from before, but he is now encased in icy armor. It did this thing that
still
Loth
will-
mentioned earlier with Gungir, that he is just wearing Brionac's face as a hat.
He's also still got the sword with
Yes.
the aqua mirror on it.
He has a
Yeah.
very
What is
pointy chin now.
What is it with you guys and hats? Seriously.
Oh yeah, the right pose. Yeah, the
Also, this-
dynamic posing is just right too. Has the
Oh yeah,
hand
no,
forward.
that's a decent.
Yeah.
dribble.
I know. Was it mentioned? I spaced with it. Like, was sure it mentioned like he grew up like 6 years.
Yeah.
Well, it is Shurit. It is him definitely at a different age. There is a him
Oh.
younger, but we'll get to Clausus when we get to Clausus.
Just looks like this guy is just going to grab you, then swing his sword, just like yeah.
Yeah, he does
stab
have a
you right
slight.
through.
He does have a slight grabby hand there.
He's doing a command grab, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, otherwise, like, the pattern of his armor, like, descending has, like, the same shape as Brionac's scales. It's pretty good. He even has the weird knuckle spikes that Brionac has. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good adaptation. Anything else visually you want to talk about with Necroz of Brionac?
Nope.
Not really.
Okay.
Nothing to say.
I'm good.
Honestly, I think
Anime
most of
sword
the
ass man.
Necroz of monsters are okay looking. Some
Yeah.
of them might be a little weird, but we'll get there.
I
when we
mean,
get
I
there.
have a little bit of, or I can say something. I have a little bit of problem that I do with a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh and anime art in general. Of what culture are you going for, and why are you mixing like 3 different cultures' armor patterns into one?
Oh, Dallas, you're one of those assholes.
Well, not like I'm not like super like I'm not gonna do time periods or anything. If like
I mean,
This is
his
clearly
armor
some-
is the thing with his armor is it's supposed to look like Brionac, which it does.
no, I understand.
And also, he's from a fantasy
I
universe. It's
mostly
not our
just
universe,
have a
so they don't have
question
fucking
about-
cultures. It's anyway.
True.
The cultures of the other archetypes that are already dead.
I mean,
Also,
yes,
why-
you can argue that Necroz is appropriating a culture. This guy is appropriating the
Ice
culture of the
barriers.
ice barriers, but he's also descended from the ice barriers, so this is just cultural reclamation.
Again,
Necros of appropriation.
actually, no. The shorthand for the Necroz are ancestral power armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also do have an issue with the helmet. It looks very silly.
Well, I mean, Brianak has a derpy face. He has a snowflake face. So when you turn that into a
True.
helmet, it
No,
looks a
this
little
is-
goofy.
But it looks way goofier on a human than it does on a dragon.
This is literally the derpy
Sorry,
Kamen Rider.
sorry. Sea serpent.
It's true.
Right.
Oh
He's a
yeah,
sea
this
serpent.
one is the sea serpent.
And
I mean,
also,
I
Axe,
made the
before you
joke
say
about
that,
how nobody
what
bid
do I
on
make
it.
fun of the most in Kamen Rider costume design?
I know. What I'm saying though is it's like
the helmets.
yes, the helmet is silly.
Like,
I mean, I made the
I
joke.
understand
Nobody
this.
really bid on it, but I made the joke about how pointy his chin is now. But yeah, he does a
Pointy
point.
chin.
All I can say is this. It looks like a mix between Monster Hunter armor and also someone watched Gurren Lagann recently. Because his drills will pierce the fucking
It's
heavens.
true. He is very drilly. So Necros of Brianak is a level 6 warrior ritual water.
He's amazing.
2300 attack, 1400 defense. So yeah, Brianak stat line. You can ritual summon this card with a Necros ritual spell. Must be ritual summoned without using Necros of Brianak. So they allow you to use the other 6-star, but you cannot use Brianak. So I guess that's what Gungnir was going for. Was you can't
cycle themselves.
You can't Gungnir for Gungnir is what they were trying to do. You can only use each of these effects of Brianak once per turn. Discard this card, add a Necros from your deck to your hand, except Brianak. Or you can target up to 2 face-up monsters on the field that were special summoned in the extra deck, shuffle them back into the deck. So, his effect is like the original Brianak, but way fucking better. Because he lets you compulse up to 2 extra deck monsters for free.
And that is an effect you will never see him resolve in a Necroz game. Because of his other effect.
I mean, you can summon him from the graveyard, but yes, the fact that you pitch this guy to search is just amazing.
Yeah, he is the searcher.
Okay, to bring it up, all the Necroz cards are the next step to rituals becoming.
We literally said that like 30 minutes ago, yes. I don't know
Alright,
if you were asleep for that, yeah.
I was probably away grabbing food.
I was dead at
Yes.
the time.
We described the fact that all the Necros have an on-field effect and a hand trap effect because it's not enough that because they're also, we talked about the ritual spells earlier, their ritual spells also have a self-cycling effect once they're in the graveyard, a la the Aqua Mirrors, but now the monsters have in-hand effects. You can actually do shit. Oh my god.
It's fair. I just want to describe it as like this is the evolution of how rituals become good by being that they are not automatically bricks.
Yes. And in case you missed that joke earlier, Axe, or anybody in the chat, I talked about how it took Konami 15 years to realize this because ritual monsters were introduced in the first season of the original anime.
How long before they started making hand trap effects? Actually,
Honestly, not that long. Karibo, the original
Karibo
hand trap.
first
There were
one.
quite a few discard effects in the OG days.
Yeah.
A lot of them weren't super good for a while, and
they're
most
all
of
like
them
tiny.
were
They're also always tiny things.
Yeah, it's
Well,
true. I don't think we got big bungus hand traps until like Gores.
Yeah,
Gore's a very heavy
probably the
stipulation.
first hand
Gores
trap.
and Trag are like this is an actual like hey this
Trag
guy's
was a
pretty
while
serious.
after Gores.
Well, yes
I mean,
and no. Wasn't he in the GX manga though?
Yes, as
Well-
the main
well-
bad guy.
Well,
Yeah,
the manga
well-
also
well before
doesn't
we got
count.
him.
Well,
I
the
mean,
manga came
fair.
out after the anime. I mean, like, because obviously Valor was
Oh.
instrumental in 5Ds, but Valor is we call Valor a hand trap these days. It's not the same thing you think of with a hand trap because it's like it's only in the main phase and it's not
It's a
in
disabled. It's a
response to anything. It's more just like
Yu-Gi-Oh! is
oh,
one of
hey,
the
something bad.
rare anime first series.
Yeah, they don't do the manga adaptation until they've started working on the anime, and that's usually why the
Which is how
mangas
you
are
get
completely
weird shit
different.
into anime, like the Arc V anime, where the main character has a crush on his mom from the future.
Because-
the Arc
because
V
time is
manga,
bendable.
Yeah, the Arc V manga.
Time is weird. But Brianak is good because it's once per turn, but you can pitch him to search anybody. But
You just won't let that one go, will you, Dallas?
No, it's very weird.
Fair enough.
I
It is
agree
very
it's weird, but we don't need to talk about it.
We don't need to
anymore.
keep bringing
hey,
it up.
so
I guess.
remember how I said some of the Necroz ritual monsters do look a little bit?
Silly.
Sussy.
Hi, it's Necroz of Catastor.
Jesus
Oh
fuck.
wow, he bulked
Yeah,
up.
he doesn't look good up close.
Bulked up, huh?
Just like, oh, I'm just going to apply these things, not the full thing. Just
I
like,
think
can't
he had to
apply it.
bulk up so he can properly wear Catastor as a hat because
He's legit. Okay, so he's not even transformed. I think he's legit, just wearing a different suit of Monster Hunter armor.
Yeah.
I mean he has to be pretty big unless Catastor is very tiny. That's Catastor's ass on his head.
So he's using
But like, damn.
I mean, it could be with the core. It could be the core eater.
You're out.
But yeah, as X pointed out, this is literally just Exa with some claws that actually work now, and a dumb hat.
Yeah, he's just wearing new armor.
And somehow less clothing.
No. He's
mean,
wearing the
he
exact
wasn't
same
wearing
amount
a
of
shirt last
clothing.
time.
He's still got his pants on. He changed
He's
his
just,
shin
he's
guards.
just claws covering his chest plate.
He didn't have a chest plate before. He is still wearing
Or I
the
guess his
mirror's
medallion.
blade, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
still
can tell he's
wearing
taller
it now.
because the mirror is sitting lower on his chest. But yes, he.
He went up like a foot.
What the fuck?
This art is not.
I feel like
yeah.
if we had like a different angle, it would be better.
Okay, this
but
is
not that much.
apparently the first level 5 ritual monster.
Oh, interesting.
This is a weird one.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay. So he can slash
I mean,
things
he's
even
not-
bigger.
He's not like the art isn't bad, especially compared to some of the stuff we've had to deal with on this fucking show.
Yeah.
It's just awkward.
He's not bad. He's just
Not good.
On a technical level,
Weird.
this art is drawn very well. The concept the artist is attempting to convey is weird. It's goofy.
Like there is skill here, but presentation is lackluster.
Somebody in the editing room should have rethought this one. But yeah, no, I mean, like, he's literally wearing Catastor as a hat, as a weird Pope hat or Egyptian hat, whatever thing.
yeah, Catastrophe.
So yeah, but
Necros Pope.
So, with the way this guy looks, you could say he's some kind of turtle pope.
No.
Reptile Pope.
I don't know the
I
reference.
mean, he's a dragon.
It's an elder.
Yeah, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's,
I still haven't played those games. Don't, if you spoil anything for me, I'll cut you.
That's
I'm
a
waiting
turtle
for
pope.
people to shut the fuck up about Elden Ring. Loth has just reset the clock.
I'm sorry.
Are you being the Gond? Never mind.
Anyway, Catastor. I don't think we have anything other to say about it other than to look at him and laugh.
I mean, it's like it's not. Look, I'll say once again, I don't think this art is bad. I think it's a testament to how overall well done the Necros art is. That this is what we have to complain about.
Yeah, it's not.
Fair enough.
I do not think this is, like I said before, it's not a bad art. Well, it's not drawn badly. There are issues with the presentation of what we are trying to go for because it is a goofy concept.
Yeah, it's like the issue for this was in the conceptualization.
Like obviously, I assume what Konami was going for when they designed what monsters they wanted for Necroz is they wanted some of the more famous extra deck monsters from Hidden Arsenal. So you did the 3 Ice Barrier
and then
Dragons.
they had to find a second one for Ally of Justice because the only one that was ever played was Catastor.
Yeah,
so they just rolled. I think.
I think
Well, no, they
people-
also wanted to do the level because
Yes.
it does the ascending level. So there's
Yeah.
also that.
So like Decisive Armor,
Yeah.
I think has a purpose, and I think people remember that guy because it was a cool concept. It's just nobody ever got to summoning Decisive Armor, but he was.
Well, no one ever made an Ally of Justice deck. That's the problem.
But Catastor obviously is like one of the infamous extra deck monsters of the original Hidden Arsenal. So of course they would try to make it work. They
Oh, yeah.
should have done it differently.
Also, I tried.
But
Remember
Necroz
all
of Catastor is a level 5 water dragon
I mean,
ritual.
it kind of worked. You did beat Axe with it.
So you can pitch this for that. You can pitch Exa for Necroz, which is interesting. He has 2200 attack, 1200 defense. So Catastor stats. Can ritual summon, blah blah blah. Must be ritual summon without using Necroz of Catastor. Can it be special summoned other ways? That is probably not a great one.
The fuck is?
But
Sorry.
you can discard this card, then target a Necroz monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use this once per turn. At the start of the damage step, if a Necroz monster you control battles an opponent's face-up monster, special summon the extra deck, destroy that monster. So Catastor does not have a quick effect, hand effect. He just lets you special summon a guy back. That is pretty good because ritual monsters that are special summoned correctly can be special summoned from the graveyard, so he lets you get your guys back if they do get removed. His on-field effect, if you go for like a kaleidoscope, is pretty rad. That's basically he's basically Construct before Construct came out. I'm pretty sure before Construct came out. That was after Secret Forces, wasn't it? Or was it?
Oh yeah, it was barely after, but
So it probably designed around the same time, but this
Yeah.
guy came out first. He has a construct effect, and it's all your face-up Necroz monsters, which is okay. So I assume Catastor saw some play, just probably not the most
Oh, yeah.
play because
well, no, he was a fairly consistent 2 of for one big reason.
There were no
It
other.
was very easy to get 2 of him off of Kaleidoscope.
That's fair. Pitch a 10.
Yeah, pitch a 10, be it like Naturia. What the fuck's that thing
Leo
called?
Drake.
No, Exterio. Later it's a 9.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fairly consistent combo. Or pitching 1 for a Catastor, or pitching an 11 for a Catastor and a Gungnir, or a Catastor and a Necroz. Like, their Catastor was run fairly consistently just because of his levels.
Yeah, because
A lot of the ones that are run at 1 are the 9 and aboves.
Yeah, because they're
Like
harder.
Trishula, Decisive Armor was usually either run at 1 or not run.
have
Yeah,
I missed all of those or?
No. We're going in alphabetical order, which is also not quite level
Okay.
order, but a
Close
lot of
enough.
the smaller ones are first.
Okay.
Speaking of which,
Just
this is Necroz of Clausus.
The other best one in the deck.
I need to ask something just because of scheduling outside of this. How many Necros cards after this?
A
9.
lot.
Oh, this guy's fucking chest piece. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah, no, this art is derpy.
Okay.
yeah.
And okay,
This
gotcha.
is. This reminds me of Tales of Pirates armor pieces. That's just
This is.
that weird.
I know I
It's-
make this joke fairly often, but this was definitely a WoW tier set at some point.
Just to bring that up,
Almost
the only
assuredly.
thing the only thing I think that's actually like well res is the background and like the claw boots, because the rest seems like it's a little low quality, like the face. It looks like it was just added on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just the artist was just like, what the fuck am I drawing? Because, like, literally, Clausus
Yo,
is wearing
bird.
Mist Valley Clausus, the Synchro monster, as an armor, as a suit. And that is not a good look. Clausus doesn't look super bad, per se, but he's also not really that impressive. He's just a giant bird who's, like, purple and green.
There's also the thing of how Sheriff's blade always changes with his armor.
Yeah, but now it's changed into Peacock Feather Duster, which is also silly. It's always the derp ones that end up being good, isn't it? By the way,
I
I just
mean,
want to...
When
Well,
he's
no,
no res, you
because
can't tell.
The other 3 of is Brioniac, and he looks fairly good.
In case you can't tell, that's the whole ass beak there. That's not his shoulder. This,
That's what I said. That's why I said, "Oh, this doesn't look good up close."
Yeah, no,
It
this...
really doesn't.
It looks like this poor anime child, his weird beard dad bought him a kigurumi from, like, the bootleg shop.
This
and now
is a
he is dressed
kigurumi
like
from
this.
hell.
Yeah.
Also, the eyes are there too. I
Yeah,
just want to
it's
point that out.
weird. I mean, I know they're supposed
I
to be
don't
like,
like
I
it.
think slightly creepy because like the the etymology is necro and then either the Japanese loanword for cloth or cross. So like they're supposed to be a little creepy and a little weird, but this is just
They're occult power armor. Yeah.
weird. It's just weird, and not like it's not like in a cool,
Very
creepy, weird way.
weird.
It's just like, what the fuck?
Choices were made, and they
Yeah,
should not have been.
Painting a 12-year-old boy with Mist Valley Clausus was not a good decision.
For multiple reasons.
Yeah. Which again, it's funny because these cards good.
In all fairness, I don't think Vane and Amelia learned how to parent.
It's true. There was probably a lot
Yeah.
of learning as we go.
It's like they kind of figured, okay, we didn't sacrifice you to a demon god, Dad and Mom of the Year.
Yeah, I think Amelia's parenting rule is just, okay, what did my mother do? I'm going to do none of those things. I'm not going to
Yeah.
awaken any ancient evils. I'm not going to murder my child. I'm not
I'm
going
gonna
to turn
teach
into
my
a crazy
child-
bug lady.
I'm gonna teach my child how to use our now cultural power properly,
Yes, so
and
he
I'm
can
gonna
dress
make
up
my
like a
child-
bird.
so we can like not feel left out when we do it too.
What's the
I'm not-
internet word for this? Feathery?
I'm not gonna start a
Jeremy?
weird cult.
Oh, hey, Shurit was
No, I think it's
skyscrapers
February.
before skyscrapers were.
I think skyscrapers are a little bit better produced.
As a
than
dumb
this.
bit, is
I'm
is the
just making
is the
a
Necros
joke.
literally just a the Necros is just a family of people, right?
Well, no,
No,
there's-
it's implied
there's-
they are a greater tribe, but their characters are mostly just
The main family.
It's mostly just Amelia Avance, their son Shurit, and their weird newt dog man.
yeah.
and then they're
And then there's two family friends who come later.
Yeah. So we'll trust on them. But Necroz of Clausus, again, you've probably heard of this fucker because this is a fucking card.
Yep.
You can only use its effect once per turn. It can be switched with some with any effect, blah, blah, blah. It's a level 3 water warrior, so 1200 attack, 2300 defense, so great defense stat for those stars. You can discard this card, add a Necroz spell trap from your deck to your hand. So he is the other searcher. And then on the field, quick effect, target a face-up monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. Until the end of this turn, that target's attack becomes 0 and its effects are negated as a quick effect.
Yep.
Those
so
are both very
Yes.
good effects.
This card is like a lot of Necroz, good in hand and good on field. And at a 3-star, ludicrously easy to summon.
Spoiler,
Yeah.
he was running 3.
Also, by the
'cause,
way, you can Clausus for Clausus. That's not a requirement on his card text.
yeah.
What? No, you can't search Clausus.
No. You can't search Clausus for Clausus.
Oh,
You can pitch Clausus to tribute for Clausus, unlike most
Gotcha.
other Necroz. So, if you have,
true.
if you draw all 3 of your Clausus, you
Because
can
they do assume, how else the fuck are you gonna summon a 3?
pitch Shurit, I guess. But yeah, it's not great.
Well, yeah, it's literally just.
So
picture
it's to make sure you can actually summon Clausus. They give you some flexibility, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
that makes him much easier to summon than a lot of the other Necroz. You don't need to futz with the numbers as much. And yes,
Also-
no, you summon this on top of a Jin.
Also, to point out, I think this is the first time I've seen so far where they have actually changed the stat line because Clausulus itself is normally a 0 attack monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though there was the Ally of Justice Clausulus. Yeah, so Ally of Justice Clausulus is 2300 attack, 1200 defense. So I'm wondering if maybe they took the stat line from that and reversed it.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially because Mist Valley Clausulus also has
Mistbird is
a
2300
very
defense.
similar effect.
So
to
I
the,
think they kind of they borrowed from both the Clausuluses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
I forgot Ally of Justice had Clausulus.
well, it's because he's a fucking vanilla. He's a vanilla level
wasn't
6
he a vanilla?
Yeah, he's a vanilla level 6 machine who can't even beat a Jinzo or a Monarch, so. But once again, the poor Ally of Justice Wombo combos. Oops, I've got my red pen out. I forgot. Let me get off that. Necroz of Decisive Armor.
I like this art.
I do not. I mean,
Very
I'm going to say this.
dumb
I don't
reason.
think he's as silly as
I think he's silly in a better way.
Yeah, no, I mean this Dallas. I don't know if Dallas would necessarily get this. I'm not sure. Some of you might though. This gives me weird 40k sculpt vibes.
Oh yeah.
Like
No.
yeah,
This is
giant
the-
body armor,
yeah.
giant guns.
Actually, yeah, I can see this is like some weird clobbled like Space Marine Terminator set.
Well, no, this is like one of the like what you call it? What are those guys called?
Adeptus Mechanicus.
Terminators?
Yeah, Adeptus. Like this is an Adeptus.
Yeah, I could see him as a Mechanicus guy.
Also, gun.
Again, I was thinking of like some weird version of like
That is
armor,
not
yeah.
gun. That is artillery. That is cannon.
yeah.
What is a cannon but a gun, but bigger?
A cannon is anything above 50 caliber, I believe.
That's what I mean.
Hey
It's a
guys,
gun,
when you
but
see
bigger.
those orcs over there, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, yes.
I'm pretty
yes,
sure
Thomas
this is
Thompson.
literally just the scene from the beginning of the first Space Marine, where the cannon breaks down and you have to like aim it with your arms.
Yeah, because you're swole. So I'm gonna give a hot take here. Let me know if this is controversial. I think Necros of Decisive Armor looks better than regular Decisive Armor.
No, that's not
fair.
controversial.
Okay.
Decisive Armor looks very derpy because of the bottom half.
Yeah, Decisive
Yeah.
Armor is a... Decisive Armor is some weird 80s anime shit.
Yeah.
He looks very
As I
top heavy.
as I look at that, it seems more like a ship with that hovering pad than anything.
Yeah, he's huge.
If it weren't hovering, it looks like something it looks something vaguely out of BattleTech, except rounder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just,
but-
I love this art.
So-
yeah,
This is
Necros of
goofy in
Decisive
a way I
Armor.
love.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's
do
goofy
think he
metal.
is. I think he is silly, but he's silly in the right way because,
Yeah.
unlike Catastor, this one took the correct cues from Decisive Armor and just went like, well, Decisive Armor looks goofy, so we're gonna look silly no matter what. Let's at least try. So he's got like glowing eyes.
Let's try to be.
huge
Let's do the
armor.
40k thing of be. We look badass, but we also look stupid at the same time.
He's
Yeah.
got he's still got his leather pants on, but he's got huge fucking guns and shoulders and everything.
I've just noticed the thing of Decisive Armor where it looks like it needs to be like the main chest piece needs to be flipped 180 degrees, like it's upside down.
Did you just? Sorry, someone just played Kaiba Man against me.
Are you being blue eyes right now?
I mean, no, because all he did. Yes, but badly.
So you're being blue eyes right now. Ba-dum.
No, like worse than usual.
Well, it's true. They didn't activate Eternal Light into a pop, which blows up their whole board.
His board ended with Blue Eyes set.
Weird.
Wow.
He set Blue Eyes?
No, A Blue Eyes and A back row set.
That's not
Weird.
the board you usually end on. Anyway, any other thoughts about Necros of Decisive Armor look-wise?
Not really.
Okay. So, Necros of Decisive Armor is a level 10 water dragon ritual. Same level as Decisive Armor. He has 3,300 attack, 2,300 defense. You can ritual summon this card with any Necroz ritual spell card. Must be ritual summoned without using any level 10 monsters. I do believe this means you can't Kaleidoscope to pitch Decisive Armor to make Necros of Decisive Armor.
Yep.
Unless Kaleidoscope overrides. Also, like Catastor of Necroz can't be special summoned in other ways. So once he's gone, unless you get the summon from graveyard ritual spell.
Yeah.
You can only use each effective Necroz of Decisive Armor once per turn. During either player's turn, you can discard this card, target a Necroz monster. It gains 1,000 attack and defense until the end of this turn. So kind of a baby honest effect. This is a inherent quick effect because it says during either player's turn. So while I don't think it'll work in the damage step because it doesn't say that, it can still work as a battle trick. And then its on-field effect is you can target a set card your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, banish it. Not a monster, any card.
Oh my sweet
is-
baby child.
Pretty good. A just free pick a set card, destroy and banish it is okay. The main thing Dallas talked about earlier that Decisive Armor was a one of, if anything.
Yeah,
I think
he
the
was-
main thing is just he's a pain in the butt to summon.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things that's like the spoilers, the big non-searcher ones, because obviously you run 3 above the searchers, are the 4 and the 8.
Oh, sorry, hold on.
Off getting a
Yeah, and
phone call.
what is this fucking hand?
But yeah, Decisive Armor is a cool card. It is obviously meant to be a bigger boss boy, but just the fact that it must be ritual summon without using any level 10s, it's just like, okay, Konami, how useful did you think one once per turn a hopped, so you can't even do it on multiple Necros, a hopped banish and destroy a set card was? Oh no, I'm so afraid of Mirror Force. I mean, that, it's Battle Traps only that actually stops, unless it's, like, a spell that doesn't have a legitimate target. Because, like, if you pop a Compulse, you just flip it. If you target a Fiendish Chain, you just flip it. If it's a continuous spell, continuous trap, you just flip it.
Breakthrough skill, yeah.
Yeah. You just... But there is a use to, like, cards, like, that only target sets, like Nolan of Extermination was played in certain formats. Because you would be guessing, basically, your opponent didn't have a legitimate target or didn't want to waste it. But, like, most of the time, if that card actually mattered, your opponent can just trigger it. So, I don't think Konami had to be as restrictive as they were on this, but I guess they were trying to play it safe because Gishki cards were very easy to loop, and that made them a potential problem. Not like a real problem, but Gust Kraken loops were like an issue.
Well, yeah, the thing with Gust Kraken is I don't remember what deck it was used in, but it was like a Gust Kraken deck.
Yeah.
Gust Kraken Mindlog is just 40-minute hand loop thing, which is very boring.
But it's the reason why you could do that is partially because you can pitch Gust Kraken for Gust Kraken or Mind August for Mind August, or Gust Kraken and Mind August the same level as well. I'm trying to remember.
Sorry about that.
It's been a long time.
Well, it wasn't like the cards that really enable it didn't exist at the time. That's the problem. Like Deep Sea Aria wasn't a card yet.
That's not what I asked, Dallas. I mean, I'm just saying, like I think part of the reason why people perceived Gishki as an issue was because you can loop Gishkis for themselves, which lets you set up your plays a lot easier.
Yep.
So Konami was like, okay, for these Necroz cards, we're trying to make them good. We're trying to make them competitive. We won't let you loop in for loop in, but I don't think Decisive Armor's effect is actually that broken that you need to put those extra restrictions on him. Which is probably why he is not as popular as a monster, because he's a slight pain in the butt to summon, and I mean, he's a big bungus, but you know, you can do better. Okay, so we're gonna move on to another one. This one actually I do believe did see play, though it is not the feature of the deck, but is still a pretty cool boy. Literally. Nekros of Trishula.
Yeah, this is a one-of, but it is a consistent one-of.
Yeah.
This is not a something you ran as an off. This was something you just ran.
This, at least with the... Alright, the hair is a little bit different, at least in terms of the red. Just in terms of spikiness. Sort of reminds me of, I think, Naoki from Vanguard, but yeah.
I mean, you know, we're doing the thing again. We have a very clear origin. Necros of Trishula has like all the same color scheme. It's kind of like a bodysuit, but also it's got like the scale patterns that Trishula has. You know, the wings. We have the little face.
His face looks way derpier than I thought.
Which face? His real face or his dragon faces?
His real face.
Yeah, Axe talked about this earlier with Clausus. I feel like, especially for their Gungnir forms, Shurit, or not Gungnir, their Necroz forms, Shurit feel like they went very minimalist on his face. Like,
Yeah, but this one looks really bad.
I'll punch in a little.
I would say Clausus looks worse, because that would look like it was literally just like eyes and a mouth that were a separate image they layered on top of it. But this case looks okay, and this looks okay.
This looks a little plasticky. Like, the shading is kind of weird to me.
Oh yeah, fair.
There's something about it I can't quite
He's
describe.
like, it looks
but
like he's also like in his 20s.
Yeah, he's going... Sure, its age is all over the place, clearly. But, like, the costume is mostly tracking. They do not do the best job of giving these guys interesting faces, but it's okay.
Right.
The fucking heads on his arms.
Yeah, they gotta give Trishula 3 heads.
I know, but it's just still funny.
Yeah. At least I don't think the aging is similar to the... What was the DC comic hero that goes from kid to a man?
Shazam.
Shazam. So I don't think it's Shazam like that.
Well, no, because I don't...
No, I'm fairly certain this is supposed to be Shurit at different points in his life, because, as usual... I mean, he existed for a while. Avance and Emilia get together right after the great Sophia exploding. And then some number of years later, probably like 12 or 15-ish, I don't know. So, like, I'm pretty sure Shurit and Clausus, as pictured, are like him as a kid, and then the Brianak and Trishula forms are like him growing up as he fights this constant hell war against Shadals and Clees and other fucking horse shit. Infernities.
Infernity, what?
Infernoid. Right, yeah. We're never not going to make that problem. It's all Konami's fault. Because it's like it's literally until you get to the last syllable, and Infernity is unfortunately shorter and easier to say than Infernoid.
Yeah.
Infernity has truly captured the imagination of Yu-Gi-Oh! Infinitely more than Infernoid has.
And all I know that
I don't know about that. Infernoid decks are fairly popular.
the whole thing of Infernoid for Cold War.
I mean, I know Infernoid
Purgatory
is-
no CG.
I know that Infernoids are known because of the Secrets of Eternity meme.
Unless,
Well, no, they're known because they were played a
Right
lot.
about
Spoiler: it was because of a certain marijuana-related card. Talking about that grass.
Yeah, that makes sense. They are a mill deck.
Like, what's Infernoids were played a lot. Now, granted, if you want to talk about success rates, that's an entirely different question.
I mean, having seen, I think Vesper traded at least once, if not
Infernity
twice.
was fairly dominant.
Infernity was good. That was a good archetype. There's a reason some of those cards are still on the FL list.
Well, I would argue Infernoid is a good archetype. Infernity is a great archetype.
Yes, that's a good way to look at it. That said, like you said about the success, I know Vesper tried to pilot Infernoid at least once, and it did not work because they are a weird deck.
There is a hefty amount of Infernoid decks. Granted, a lot of them are mixed builds of like Lightsworn, Shadal, Burning Abyss.
Well, yeah, because they like mills, so.
Lair, and all of them are in like top 64th, top 14. Oh no, that's not true. When Grass was at 3, there were a couple that got tops. Infernoid Grass was one of the decks. That's literally what the deck's called.
There's a lot of jokes to be had there, but we will skip them. Nekros of Trishula is a level 9 water warrior. This is how you can tell it's Shurit, even if you couldn't tell because of all his anime-ness. Level 9, 2700 attack, 2200 defense, so Trishula stats. Can be used with level 9 monsters. You can only use each effect once per turn. When a card or effect activates that targets a Nekros monster you control, discard this card, negate that activation. Just like, no. And then when this card is ritual summoned, you can banish exactly 3 of your opponent's cards, 1 each from their hand, field, and graveyard. So just the Trishula effect. The hand card is random. But yeah, no, that's good. Having a main deck Trishula in your archetype that is focused around that is good. The fact that it's 9...
Come back to that thought later.
The fact that it is a 9 is what, again, much like Decisive Armor, that's what makes it awkward. But Necroz of Trishula is a decent card. It's just...
Well, also, the other thing that made it awkward is there are clearly 2-star Necros, and neither of them are Trish. Yeah. Neither of them we've even mentioned yet.
No, we got to work down there. But I think that will be coming.
They are very low. I think one of them's next, actually.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait. Oh yeah, we're doing the later ones later. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then they're literally both next.
Yes. So it's this one. It starts with a U.
Yup. This is what made the deck good.
Also, by the way, I completely forgot because I didn't look too closely at Unicorn, but this brings up our questioning as well. Again, Necroz doesn't make any time sense. As behold, Necroz of Unicorn. It's just a Vance. He still has his dumb ponytail.
Yes.
No, with this card, there has to be time shenanigans with this armor transforming.
I was more thinking that it's more just the time scale is all.
Well, no, because Grain Spellcaster is like the one that finds the Necroz abilities.
What?
Yeah, no, there's like transforming must mess with time.
I mean, the Great Sorcerer.
Because I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm fairly sure the Great Sorcerer of Nekros dies in the story.
I mean, I don't actually notice him mentioned very much. The Great War, the Great Error, Mist Valley, Great Marshlands, the Great Sorcerer is part of gathering the planet's, guardians. Great spiritual powers. The word great appears a lot, damn. But Sork only appears once.
Yeah, because
so I don't actually. Yeah.
Well, because of something that happens, I'm fairly sure.
Cycle.
we know what happens to two of them at least.
You know, they fight the
What happens to Shurit,
Infernoids.
actually? I
Shurit,
genuinely
you
don't know
notice
what
the power
happens
of the 3 Ice Spirit Dragons, then it disappeared, blah, blah, blah. Infernoids and Clifforts. A Necros we haven't seen yet. Exa finds the God-Piercing Divine Lance. Then we create the 10 Chosen Zephyras. And there's also Necroz of Sophia.
Yeah.
The Infernoids get Shrek'd. And this brings back Ariel and Wind. Yeah, I cannot. In the Master Guide itself, there's no mention of Sorcerer, so I don't actually know.
He becomes Zephyr Saber. That's right.
Okay, well, we'll look at that art then when we look at it. But
yeah, no, there's definitely time shenanigans going on then because the Zephyr Saber is after Great Sorcerer and
yeah.
I
mean, unless Great Sorcerer was supposed to be like Avance's dad, that's why he had the same stat line. Because I mean, we don't know where his father went.
I think Great Sorcerer might be just
No, I think
but he does have Avance's. He does have Avance's stat line. Is the problem?
Well, the other problem is you see him, like, you see multiple of these people at multiple different ages.
Yes, and I'm not sure when that's supposed to be.
We also
the
don't know
Master
how long
Guide uses the image of Shurit as a kid when they talk about their first victory.
I-
By the way, once again, Necros are supposed to have existed before that, but they don't actually do anything in the plot until the Infernoid era.
I legitimately think that it is a Billy Batson style. Once you use this power, you gain or lose age.
Based off what you're doing.
So, let's see.
No, I think it's based off who you're transforming into.
Zings, and then, blah, blah, blah. We got the
it's
Divine Lance.
He could have cast a Glamour on himself.
Okay, I have one problem with
And then there's
Unicorn's art. I have one problem with this art.
What's up?
It's the tail. It just looks silly. He has a fluffy tail.
I just noticed that the spear is legit just the staff of a spike in the blade.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I mean, there's definitely an image of Great Sorcerer and Dance Princess as they both look later, though this card didn't. When the fuck did this card? This came out kind of Maximum Crisis, so maybe this was several years later. Zephyr Providence.
Yeah.
Zephyr Providence, which features, I think, Gemnite Crystal going to the fucking afterlife.
Vance becomes the Zephyr, so...
But I'm not entirely sure. So maybe...
she does something stupid, and I think explodes.
No!
Oh, did she become Sophia?
I mean,
oh, no.
Yeah,
Sophia. She's Sophia. She's the only woman. But no, in Zephyr Providence, she's still alive and looks normal.
To be fair, Omega, that's not... it's not like she's the only woman. There are only 3 of them. You can tell by the hair color.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess she is not the only woman in a Necroz, but once again, Konami literally forgot about Ariel for years.
It's the family. It's the mom, the dad, the child.
No. Ariel, Priestess of Necroz. She has Necroz in her name, but again, didn't come out for like 2 years.
I mean for the ritual monsters.
Yes, no, the ritual monsters are those 3.
And the dog.
But yeah, so this is Necroz of Unicorn. It's an interesting interpretation because Fabled Unicorn is just a horse. I mean, he's got the helmet, which is the same thing that Necroz Unicorn is wearing.
I will forever be confused as to why they chose this as the Fable representation, but...
I mean, well, it's not the only one.
I mean,
but
honestly, a Necroz
for
of
the
Leviathan
Fabled,
cool.
I mean, I think that Unicorn was probably the most popular the Fabled monster.
No. The only one that was fairly played was, what's the thing called? It's the Kaduzu? Kaduzu?
No.
What's the one that says "fuck you"?
Unicorn.
Cow?
No, that's a different card.
Oh, you're thinking of Kaltababas?
Yeah, Cattle Pass.
I mean, I feel like both were decently good.
Well, no, the one wasn't played. Well, I mean, Fabled weren't played that much, but generally, no, it's not Cattle Pass either. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it starts with a C. It doesn't. Also, no, it's definitely Unicorn.
Kudabi. It's Kudabi.
Right. Anyway, but no, Unicorn was definitely played. That's the one that says that if you have no cards in hand, your opponent can't do anything.
No, it's if you have the same amount of cards as your opponent.
Oh yeah, same cards, but still, it's like that means 0, I think, in Fabled.
Yeah, but also Kudapi is the one that is, if you have 0 cards in your hand, it's a Towers.
I guess. I mean, I feel like in terms of memorable effects, it absolutely makes sense as Unicorn. That's the one that is.
I mean,
negate
if we're
everything.
talking about fabled cards that should have been it should have been Reigen. Like, not even.
Oh, no. Yeah, when we talk about not the fabled, but unfortunately English only has one word for the, so fuck you, Konami. But the fabled archetype as opposed to the fabled, like, I don't know why they translate it that way. Not the Demon Roar gods, not the Demon Roar god beasts. I don't know why the fuck it's Valkyris is what we're saying. You are correct.
I don't know why they couldn't call them, like,
more.
I don't know why they wouldn't call Fabled Beast.
I mean, it should have been Reigen, realistically.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Reigen was infinitely the more playable one.
And it should have been Valkyris too, because he was like the boss. It would not have been Leviathan because that card was never played.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could have been because I think Leviathan is bigger than Valkyris, but it turned out to be Valkyris is the one. But
yeah, I think the only reason they did it is to fit the level.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, Necros of Unicorn is a 4, like Unicorn, so it's pretty decent. There's some. I think we've talked about this. There's the weird. The tail on Unicorn is weird for both monsters. So thanks for that.
Yeah, but it looks weirder on a guy. I'm gonna be real.
I mean, yeah, no, it's unusual.
It would be funnier if instead of like having the actual tail, his ponytail took on that shape. But,
Yeah. I mean, I don't have much to say. It has a derpy tail, and I think this one has to confirm that their transformations come with de-aging at this point, or up-aging, depending on which spirit they're calling on.
Yeah, it does. Because we have clearly established, because again he's wearing the sword, but Grand Sorcerer and again, if you want to look at, we're not doing Zephyr yet, but if you want to look at Zephyr Providence, everybody. This is clearly supposed to be a reference to, like, Twin Serpent's Wake or whatever, but you'll notice that's Great Sorcerer and Amelia, who look mostly like their card art, Dance Princess and Great Sorcerer, just chilling there, when clearly, like I said, some Gem Knights are going to the afterlife deal. Because that's like Noelia and the other Gishki founder lady are, like, standing on the other side. Also, by the way, what a fucking cop-out. I think this means Noelia's in Yu-Gi-Oh! Heaven.
Well, to be fair, she was possessed by an evil spirit.
I guess. She tried to be a good person. She was under the influence. That's fair. It's just very funny.
Influence.
Yeah.
Also, I think didn't she get drafted into... Oh, no, that's a different card.
Yeah, this is probably also someone on top of a Jin. Yeah, Necroz of Unicorn is another fucker. So, I mean, the reason why it's Unicorn is because it has the Unicorn effect, which is you negate things. It is a level 4 water spellcaster, 2300 attack, 100 defense. So, this is where ritual monsters really start to be like, fuck levels. We don't need to make any sense. 2300 attack. You can discard this card, targeting the Necroz monster in your graveyard, except Unicorn, add it to your hand. That's also great. That's why you can afford to play one of some other guys, because you can recycle them. And you are absolutely playing 3 of this guy, because his effect on the field is negate the effect of face-up monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck.
Yep.
And he's on a 2300 body, so, yeah, this really chews into your opponent's extra deck potential. I would also say, by the way, hey, you want to really ruin your opponent's day? Kaleidoscope, pitch a 7, summon Unicorn and Clausus. They are negated, and also you can make their attack 0.
This and the upcoming next one are the 2 Necroz that really made the deck work.
Yeah, Unicorn, good. And as we said, unfortunately good in the really getting to those Ice Barrier roots of the stuns.
Yeah, but unlike Ice Barrier, it actually works.
Well, it's because they put their good cards in their main deck for once.
True.
Though I guess Necroz format did motivate people to actually play an Ice Barrier card, technically.
Yeah, maybe we should bring him up in conjunction with why they were playing that card.
We don't really need to. It's just that that was
Oh,
was it
okay.
shock troops?
Yeah, it was shock troops so that you could. Was it
Yeah, we
summon
talked
and
about
then
him
pitch
before.
it?
I don't know. I don't remember if we talked about it, but he's basically shock troopers of the ice barrier. If you don't remember from our ice barrier episode, is an appallingly awful exiled force clone. You contribute it to target a water monster and destroy it, and then add a ice barrier monster. This was a decent out to certain Necrozes with djinns under them.
Yeah.
Yeah, primarily I think it was Clausulus.
Well, it's Clausulus and Unicorn.
Yeah.
Or would have been.
Those are the
two
primary
that
ones you
stood
summon with using a djinn. So, shock troops was spiced in as a tech, but unfortunately, as a water level 3, you also just ran shock troops in Necros. It was very funny.
out. Especially when Jin got banned.
Let us pull up. Again, once remarking on how weird this is, Necroz of Valkyris. Where was this guy? Because like this build looks a lot more like him as Great Sorcerer.
No, I think this is just still like I'm telling you that it has to be that they change their ages based on who they're transforming into.
I mean, probably given the context. I'm just wondering how the fuck this is literally not explained. Like,
No, it's not.
Yeah.
there's so much in the Master Guide. It's so big. You talk about the fucking Yangzing and the Stellar Knights, you know, and how the Shadals came about and fucked with everybody, and then that was the Sacred Tree, and then the Clees woke up, and then the Infernities woke up. But, like, the Necroz were there the whole time, but
Yeah.
no detail is
the-
described on what they're doing.
Yeah,
It's
I
the anime-
was trying to watching a video that tried to talk more in depth about it, and that person didn't even know.
It's the
I will
anime-
also disagree with Zed in the chat. I think what's his face Vayne aged very gracefully. It's just he wasn't dead at the time, which I'm pretty sure is literally why Amelia.
Yeah,
looks like that.
I made that reference earlier. I feel like Amelia looks younger because she's been age displaced. She spent several times as a corpse.
Because I think that was only like that wasn't that many years considering how like his because the art that shows like her getting revived, he was still
I
like,
think
underage.
I think what we saw with Necroz of Unicorn and what we'll see with another one is how Vayne looks right now.
Yeah, Advance.
Like I think this is older Vayne.
Advance. There's
or
an A.
whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Advanced.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is older Advance and like I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean, I will notice. I said he had an eye patch. I think he kind of has an eye patch, but he doesn't have an eye patch string.
The mask-
I don't
The
think he has an
master
eye
matches.
patch. I think he has anime eye patch hair, like anime.
that or
No,
it's
no,
like
no, no, no. Oh,
the
it's
half
it's an
cover.
armor plate, so it's kind of an eye patch. He's wearing half of Valkyris's mask, is what it is.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
All right, that makes more sense. Yeah, I was wondering where.
I think this is the best art of the.
Yeah, no.
Necroz first of all.
This is pretty good. He's got the staff, which is like got the fabled mask on it. You know, he's wearing Valkyris's armor, but instead of wings, he has like his cape. It looks good. He keeps his sword.
Also, he's fucking good.
He looks like a you know, anime dad badass. Who gets ganked halfway through Act 1. R.I.P.
Probably
Geralt.
doesn't though in this case.
Yeah, he doesn't actually, but he looks like it.
Yeah.
Wait, Geralt died? No, he didn't. Did he? What Witcher game are we on?
I didn't make a Witcher joke, you mook.
What the fuck's Geralt from then?
3 houses.
Oh, right. I don't.
Your dad
remem-
dies.
I don't remember his name.
We'll,
Your
we'll,
dad
we'll
dies
have
like
to
it's
we'll have to
halfway
see in
through
3
the
hopes
game,
if your
too.
dad if Byleth's dad dies again, because I think they showed that you can recruit the person who the assassin impersonated. So three hopes is going to be weird, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about
What the
Necros of
fuck
Valkyris.
is-
I don't think there's a lot to talk about his appearance
There's Three
because
Hopes.
the Fire Emblem
Yeah,
Warriors
Burger
clone. Dallas, do you not actually, I know that's true.
I
Dallas
have been
does
in
not.
finals week. I don't. If
No,
the
that
news
was
came
just
out,
put out months
It's
ago.
been announced for literal months. What I've learned is Dallas can remember Yu-Gi-Oh decks, but Dallas does not watch What's Up.
He does not also listen to news.
No, I sometimes do. I'm very infrequent. And no, you're correct. I don't listen to gaming news. I'm too busy listening to real news, which is a lot more depressing.
Why do you think I don't listen to real news? Because sucking to like I.
But
can't
Necroz
function
of
without it.
Valkyris is a level 8 water spellcaster with 2,900 attack and 1,700 defense.
Secrets of Eternity.
You can't.
Sorry.
That was
You
as
can't
as
use
a,
level 8 monsters, blah, blah, blah. When your opponent monster
now-
declares an attack, you can banish a Necroz card from your graveyard and discard this card to negate the attack and then end the battle phase, which is pretty good. Having a battle fader effect when banishing a Necroz monster gets you advantage is pretty decent. And then
it should
during
be
your main
mandatory-
phase, you can tribute up to 2 monsters from your hand or field if you do draw the same number of cards. So this card says draw 2.
I don't think this is funny, but I think I should say this. It should be mandatory if you're a Cabal member to watch What's Up.
No.
No.
Fuck you. Pay me.
I mean, I don't think it should be mandatory. I think Dallas should because we talk an awful lot about tabletop, and he probably misses
I do
conversations that
sometimes.
are cool.
I'm in finals right now. I definitely haven't watched for like the last 4 weeks.
So it's been finals for the last 2 months for you, huh?
That's basically. Do you not know what a master psychology program is? We don't have
No.
tests anymore. It's just you have a final paper for every class. You have like a 16-page paper in every.
Fair
class.
enough. Okay, I understand. That
That's
sounds
my
like hell.
entire life now.
But yeah,
like
so
hell.
Necroz of Valkyris says draw 2. He is good.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
Also, like I said, the fact that this is one of those weird cases where he technically has a cost, which is to banish a Necroz card from your graveyard and discard him, but that gets you advantage, so it's funny.
If you have the right setup, it's fine. It doesn't. It's not.
I mean, every single Necroz main deck monster has, a banish effect, and
And more I mean is like it's not your opener. Yeah.
well, yeah, you make the guy who foolishes first. You foolish burial. Anyway, but also acts to summon this guy, you would have to put Necroz monsters in your graveyard, so you can summon him and then do something else. Actually, to summon anybody, It is not your literal first play, but it's also not literally your first play because it's a fucking battle fading effect. So it cannot happen until turn 1 anyway. Or turn 2 anyway. But yeah, I don't think we have anything more to say about that.
I mean, he was one of the reasons the deck was so consistent.
Yes. Because you have draw power and other things.
Yeah. No, he's an amazing card.
And now, artistically... Are you gonna... God damn you, Wiki, not importing the fucking
now we have
Master
to
Duel?
do Little Mermaid Girl.
No.
Oh, Sophia came out first? I didn't know that.
I feel like Wikipedia is being annoying to me. Yeah, Maximum Crisis is 2017. Necros of Sophia is Crossed Souls, which was later in 2015.
Okay. I
And
knew
also,
she didn't come out at the same time as the original.
The two technically Zephyra Necros
right.
also come out in Crossed Souls. Like I said, it's weird. Most of the support for Necros comes out in 2015. Can I? Yeah, it's got to be a little.
Well,
small.
the Zephyra, from what I understand, are just the dead members of different factions reincarnated as angels.
It's kind of like that.
And then they Megatron into a giant angel god.
With the
person.
gathering of the Lance, Sophia, Kyrkion, Sacred Tree. So it's not so much that they are reincarnated as the Sacred Tree was agitated because Anoyatilis ate Ptolemus, Sophia, Divine Lance, and Kyrkion. Thanks, shitballs. So that recreated all of the Goddess of Rebirth's powers. So, and the 10 cores. So, the tree picked 10 people to be Zephyrs.
Yeah.
I think some of them were technically still alive at the time, but it's a
Still
little hard
got
to tell.
Should we maybe have done Zephyrs first?
No, because Zephyrs
No.
are guys who already exist.
And guys who we haven't done the archetypes of.
Yeah, it
Fair
would make no
like
goddamn sense.
Shadal's.
No, yeah, like technically we will probably do most of Zephyra as we do other archetypes because
And then
Zephyr's
we'll
not really its
eventually
own
get Zephyrath in.
yeah, there
This
are.
is important
We'll
to the
figure out
story.
some stuff when that makes sense. Like maybe at a maybe
I
at a
will say
plot climax.
Zephyr Shadal core makes more sense now than it's. Oh wait, that's Diamond. Okay.
Anyway, this is I don't think I said the name. This is Zefraxa, Flame Beast of Nekroz, or in Japanese, Sephira Exa Nekroz of the Flame Beast. So it's
Well, yeah, because it's much more obvious what they're going for in the Japanese.
yeah, it's supposed to be Sephira and then Exa.
Yeah.
Where they went with Zephra, and so they had to make it
It's-
still spelled Zephra. They had to cut out the X.
It's
Exa
quite
part.
literally Sephiroth.
Yeah, because of the tree and the 10.
Well, it's because of the thing that Quilthoth are protecting.
Yes, the tree and the 10. There's a tree and there's 10 orbs.
Right.
Yeah.
The 10 orbs are inside of the tree, but yeah.
Yeah, I think
The
I think
climate
they might
change.
come out for that. We'll get there when we get there. There's a lot of steps to this. Like I said, Master Guide 5 has some very dense lore, and once again, as we said, somehow still manages not to explain how the fuck Nekroz work. Anyway, the original Zephras are kind of. I think the general idea is they're supposed to create hybrid decks. Like, I feel like what Konami was thinking they would do is they would update their
Well,
non-pendulum archetypes to be pendulums.
I mean, they kind of did that with at least one of the decks.
Yeah. I do not think it worked universally for every archetype that Zephra is plugged into.
But then they made the second round of support and just made Zephyra a deck,
Yeah.
which is what Zephyra is.
Konami probably realized that trying to bolt pendulums onto decks that weren't pendulums didn't work.
Yeah. And then they're just like, make Zephyrath, and it makes the deck go. It
Yeah.
makes the deck work.
So, Zefraxa is Exa in another weird suit. Now he has a crotch piece and a shiny belt buckle, and also he's on fire for some ungodly reason.
And he's Captain
He doesn't,
Falcon.
he doesn't have the mirror strapped to his chest.
No. But yeah, I mean,
I
it's,
think the mirror broke at this point.
He's still got the dumb claws.
Didn't something come out of the mirror? Was it...
I don't know if something came out of the mirror.
They're
But,
even dumber. It looks like they're curved even more now. Like they're curved.
I mean, they
all
are
around.
they
on
are
fire.
fully fish hooked now, but they still are weird because they're so long and they have such a small curve that I do not know what you're hooking on them.
But they're on fire, so they still do damage.
Yeah, he also has a flame tail. It's cool. And he is a fire type now, by the way. He is not a water, which is also probably awkward for actual Nekroz.
Zefraxa, I don't think was used very much in Necroz. Or, not
I
Necroz,
imagine not. So,
no, the Necrozes were never used in Necroz. I meant in Zephyra. Sorry.
yeah. So Zefraxa, Flame Beast of the Nekroz, is a level 5 fire dragon pendulum monster. As I said, this is. I think Konami was trying to be like, oh shit, none of our cool hype decks are pendulum decks. How do we fix this? And you don't do that. Or if you're gonna do it, like make it make sense, like how they're making Amazon a pendulum deck. That makes sense because Amazon S was only ever a weenie spam deck anyway, or a fusion deck. So
Yeah.
giving them pendulum scales. As Rada joked,
You know,
the
I'll be honest.
support for Amazon S they're doing is they're just making Earth Lunalights now.
You know what they should have done?
What's up?
Realistically, think about it. The decks that would have made more sense to make pendulum decks, make the main character decks pendulum decks because they're all about summoning big assholes anyway,
Oh,
like Dark Magician and Blue Eyes,
maybe
and
that
Red
would've
Eyes.
been
Like
maybe
that would have made more sense to me.
I mean, making Pendulum Red Eyes would have made infinitely more sense than Pendulum Gemini. You are correct.
Or you mean Red Eyes Gemini?
Yeah, sorry, Red Eyes Gemini. Yeah.
I just more meant like just because like those deck types make more sense as pendulum. I don't know.
I mean, I think Konami figured out how to make them work anyway with just one. They already figured out Blue Eyes' extra
Well,
deck type is Synchro, so they like.
They figured out how to make two of them work. Sorry, Red Eyes.
Yeah, Red Eyes is still fucked, but that's because, like I said, the support they decided to tack onto Red Eyes was Gemini for some ungodly reason, and doesn't help. And then it also doesn't help us that they made Red Eyes literal best boss monster also Dark Magician, and then they got rid of him because they got rid of him for Verte's sins. Well, we will have to see if the OCG decides Dragoon is okay now that Verte is banned.
I
But,
mean,
yeah.
I've gotta assume so, but
I mean, they didn't unban him when they banned Verte, but we'll see. I'm assuming the OCG is probably shy because they're scared of that format coming back. I guess the question is, can you run a Dragoon package in Splight? Because if y'all don't know about Splight, you're gonna. I think it's like
What is Splight?
66% of the OCG meta right now.
Oh, Jesus!
yeah.
Oh, we're in one of those formats now.
Yeah.
it's that rank 2 spam deck.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Why
I
are rank
already,
2
I
decks
already
always
got my hero.
cancer?
I already got my hero, kids. I'll be fine.
But so to finish
I kinda wanna
Zefrax's
try to do it again.
Zefrax's description, he has the same stats as normal Exa Enforcer, 2K 1K. His pendulum effect, and he's pendulum scale 7 by the way. His pendulum effect is you cannot pendulum summon monsters except Necroz and Zefra. This effect can't be negated. So basically, all of the Zefras have this weird like Xenolock thing in their pendulum scales.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of early
Like all classes
pendulums
lock
did
themselves
that.
in it. Kind of, it's not great because otherwise they
I
think it
mean,
would be a great. excuse deck.
Stokerbat Joker also locks himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like half of
But there's so many of those.
half of the Performapal Pendulum Magician Odd Eyes package Xenolock them, but at least as we get later, most of them are like either the monsters are Performapal Odd Eyes Magicians. By the way, I think Performapal Odd Eyes Magician is literally a card. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is.
Performapal Odd Eyes Dissolver, but
No,
yeah.
there's Performapal Odd Eyes a lot of things, but Magician is not one yet.
There's Performapal Odd Eyes Synchron.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
There
Synchron,
is.
there's Dissolver,
There's a lot that are
there's
close
one
to just
other.
being Performapal Odd Eyes Magician for sure.
Unicorn.
But a
White
lot of
Snakes.
them, a lot of them at least name check at least 2 of those archetypes, either
Yeah.
Odd Eyes, Performapal, or Magician or Magicians. So they kind of like remove the Xenolocking. And then there are great pendulum engines, like Metal Foes, and I don't think Dynamists effect only affect Dynamists, but I don't think they lock you into pendulum summoning Dynamists.
No, they don't.
They don't.
Yeah, so like a lot of the good pendulum engines don't Xenolock you. Zefra does, so you kind of have to play Zefras. It's weird.
And honestly, of all the Zefra Pendulum cards, the only one that was played outside of Zefra's was Yang Zheng.
Yes, because that works for their deck.
Because, Zefra Inu's effect is just dumb.
Zefrax's monster effect is, by the way, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, if a face-up Necroz or Zefra card would be destroyed by battle or card effect while in your monster zone or pendulum zone, you can special summon this card. Or actually, So, that's not good. That does nothing for either archetype, really. Like,
Not really, no.
yeah, like, okay, he means you go +0 as opposed to -1 when your opponent pops a card of yours that's Zefra or Necroz. It's not just to get this asshole out. He doesn't do anything. He's a 2K guy. Not that impressive.
Yeah, like, he is good because of how Zefra works, but as a one-of. Like, he is literally a one-of.
And I mean, he's got a decent scale number. It's 7. I can see the one of line, but
Well, it's also his. Well, no, it's not the scale number. It's the his element.
being
I
fire
believe he is the only fire Zefra.
might work. Yeah.
Like he's a one of or a none of. Like I'll just say that.
Yeah. And now our other one, which is also very, how the Zefra's art-wise look is very weird. So this
I like
is,
him, but, yeah.
I mean, if you looked at his feet, that's what I'm concerned about.
That's true.
I'm not
His
sure where
feet
the
are a bit.
and I mean, I don't think they're the. I mean, you literally can't see them in the normal card art, but they're here in the full art. It's not the weirdest thing we've ever seen. I'm just like, so you have split-toed boots. Anyway, this is Zefra Saber, Swordmaster of the Necroz, which is obviously once again Avance.
Hey, I'm back.
Extra shaved. He has extra swords now. I think he's got like a Satellar sword and then also his normal sword, I think, or something back there.
Something like that.
And he's also got like a wrist a wrist laser blade and a weird chain. He's got a lot of weapons, okay? The whatever the Zephyra energy upgrade to him was pretty good. I think he's got some odd bits, but like compared to how he looks as Grand Sorcerer, like, you know, shaving your beard and exfoliating does a lot for a guy. I see there are no further comments.
No, I mean it's a pretty bland art.
Yeah.
Like he's run at 3. He's run at 2 or 3 in Zephyra because
I mean, I guess in Yu-Gi-Oh you could call it bland. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it doesn't really leave a lot of an impact, you know?
Yeah, this is very anime designed.
Yeah, he's got like a weird scythe shoulder. He's got 2 different kinds of swords. He's got an extra laser blade.
He's also like the de facto leader of the Zephyra faction, technically.
Makes sense.
Well, until they Megazord.
As you do in Yu-Gi-Oh.
And then they
like,
all
Hyper
become
Angel,
the de facto leader.
Yeah.
the Hyper Angel.
I mean,
become,
Yu-Gi-Oh and Konami's
they
obsession
become a
with...
Bayonetta boss.
True. But Yu-Gi-Oh's obsession with boss monsters means that for story types like this, Voltroning into something huge is very, very common. We have seen it several times.
Oh, right.
Like even like with the Metal Foes, for example.
But,
Alright, this guy has stuff from the X Sabers.
Well, the thing about Zephyra is they're all named
point.
after different elements of the Sephiroth, because that's the Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe he is the Keter Zephyr Saber.
I mean, I don't know if that's true.
He's the Keter because he's the crown, the boss.
I mean, okay, that may be like his design element. There's nothing in his name like that. He is.
No, I understand that, but if you look at how the Zephyrs are, I'm sorry, I only know this because this is literally my religion. If you look at how the Zephyrs are positioned, they're positioned in the positions of the upside down Sephiroth, and he's at the crown.
Yeah, that makes sense. His name in Japanese is literally Sephira Saber, so it was not their names like Dallas said, but their design elements to be sure. He is
it's not their names. It's and also to just because we already went over him. Oh, that's interesting. Exa Zephrexa is Hod, which is splendor, majesty, or glory.
Well, he is on fire now. But, so what Zephyr Saber does, he is a level 4 water pendulum spellcaster, 1500 attack, 800 defense, so he has the same stat line as Avance and Great Sorcerer. He is a pendulum scale of 1, so he's a low scale. You cannot pendulum send monsters, you have never Zephyr, blah, blah, blah. Monster effect is, you contribute this card from your hand or face-up field, or face-up from your side of the field. Tribute monsters from your hand or field, then ritual summon 1 Necroz ritual monster from your hand whose level equals those monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, it's okay. I kind of get what they were going for, especially if you could do a pendulum summon to get extra guys. He is completely unnecessary for Necroz. But unlike Zephrexa, he makes sense. Right? Because his monster effect is just to be a ritual spell. And because he's a pendulum card, he's, part spell card. It's funny. I don't think it's necessary for the Necroz, but it tracks at least. It's an attempt.
No, yeah, it's. I mean, and he's much more used in Necroz.
Yeah.
Or I keep saying Necroz, Zephyra. Because of his. Well, at least as long as it remains a solo archetype, he's pretty much used fairly a lot because he has a good scale number.
Yeah, being a 1 scale is pretty important.
The 1 scales available in Zephyr are all kind of not good. Like, that's a problem with the deck. Like, they have, 2 good 1 scales.
And so just by sheer...
And unfortunately, you are a pendulum deck, so you require a low scale.
Especially when you learn how Zephrath works.
Yeah.
Basically, he sends a card from deck to extra deck to copy its scale number. You need fodder for that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, no. It makes sense. Anyway, we're going to return to form. This was a big Necroz to come back. This was also Crossed Souls. Necroz of Sophia. You get to look at Sophia.
Theata Sophia.
Mommy, sorry? Mommy.
You get to look at Sophia, goddess of her birth again. Yeah, Necros of Sophia, I mean, yeah,
There's something
she's
about her
aged
art
better.
that bothers the shit out of me.
Oh,
Is it the
Sophia.
weird glowy chest piece?
I mean,
I
Sophia
think
also
it's
has that
the
too.
way that her
mean, the chest piece is not
faces
glowy.
look. She looks cockeyed, and I don't know why.
I mean,
I
there's
think
definitely
it's because
there's a
think
weird
it's be-
angle to her body.
I would say I think part of it. I think that is that because part of one of her eyes is covered by like her hair bits.
No,
Like-
no, it's not that. It's like her eyes are like looking like. No, her eyes are like misproportioned.
Yeah,
Like, it looks like her eyes are done wrong.
one of her eyes has a slightly different angle than the other eye. I think that's because the way this art is drawn, like, so her torso's
I
in
don't
one
know about
direction, then her hip is like cocked, and then her legs are doing something different.
Like everything other than her face is except for the boob lasers.
There's no boob
I'm
lasers.
sorry.
What the fuck, guys? It's mirrors, and they're on Sophia.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, boob mirrors.
Law said they glowed, and I'm like, what? Guys, get your eyes checked. I think the boob mirrors are weird too, but like, don't blow it out of proportion.
I could
wait,
understand the
here's a
they
question.
look
Did the
kind of
Gishi-
glowy comment, but
The Geishka mirror was basically just was always just a thing that like used the power of Sophia.
I mean, I assume it was
No,
probably
it's-
tied to her, but it was originally an ice barrier mirror. It does
No, it
share
was
the
used
same.
to contain the power of
It does bear the same shape as
the-
Sophia's chest piece, so I assume that is intentional. But
So the other thing I find hilarious looking at this is when you look at like seeing the two balls here with Necros of Sophia, you're like, oh wait, where's that coming from? And then if you zoom in real close into actual Sophia, she's wielding those same orbs,
yeah,
But
those
they
orbs
just
are,
look-
are plot orbs.
Yeah.
but they just look so tiny for real.
Well, that's because
Sophia.
remember, Sophia came out of.
Yeah.
You can see it. Sophia is literally exploding out of a giant fucking pyramid.
those are the ones that those are the balls that get
Oh.
fused into Satellar Knight,
Actually,
Sombra, and
I think actually,
Storm
right,
Proteon.
Sophia actually came out of the tree itself.
yeah, no, she's
No,
in the tree.
the Mist Valley
Oh, no.
temple
That's
is
the
definitely
Infernoid.
a giant mountain.
The Infernoids are in the tree. Sophia's in the temple.
You can see her horns on the top of the Mist Valley temple. I will pull up the card art if we want to turn this around, which we don't because we've got like two
No.
left. Honestly, like I think there are some minor details about Necroz of Sophia, and I assume the issue with that is because this artist was very faithful in trying to carry over all of Sophia, goddess of creation's elements into a human-sized person, which is a lot because Sophia has a fucking lot of stuff going on. And that leads to some of the details in Necroz of Sophia being a little, like, compressed. I think that's why her posture is kind of weird, too. They wanted to make sure you could see all of her body so you can see all of the things. But it's okay.
Yeah, it's like-
just double check the lore. Yeah, I was wrong on that one. But Sophia did go to the tree to get her powers.
Yeah, the
her
orbs
powers
may
are
have been
from the
related to
tree.
But she's busting out of this thing.
Yeah, the things that she has on her arms,
Yes, her armbands are the
which
color-coded
are all
orb powers.
correspond to the Zephyra.
And also, I think, weren't there 10 original Yang Zings as well?
No, there are 9 original
think
Yang
so,
Zings
but-
because no, they're separate things
9.
because Zephyrath is specifically the 9 Yang Zings plus the 10 Zephyra,
I'm scrolling up. Which ones?
which
were
is why he
pre-original?
turns into a giant angel.
Oh no, there were 8
demon dragon.
original Yang Zings, so that did
No,
include.
there's
Zephyr-
9. There's 9.
Nope. Incorrect.
Where are you getting 8?
Yang Zings materialized by Sombra, Suyani, Bian, Bishi, Pulau, Chaofeng, Tauti, Zefraxa, Zefranu.
Oh, right. No. One because one is resurrected. That's why.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
never
think.
mind.
Some of them come out later, so there may be 9 because technically Pulau gets eaten and turns into the thing Window rides.
Well, no. Baija, Yazi, and
Yeah.
Danglong. are
And
the
she
others.
Ding dong.
Yes. And they all turn into a giant demon dragon angel thing.
Yeah.
By fusing with the Zephyra, who's like the size of Sophia, and they have a giant kaiju fight. It's awesome.
There's a lot of giant kaiju fights, actually.
Doesn't make it less cool.
No, I was gonna say like it's pretty common though. There's a lot. I feel like I think I've realized the main problem with this. I don't know when the fuck Master Guide 5 was published, but these first archetypes didn't come out too long after Hidden Arsenal. Let me check when Hidden Arsenal 7 was. Hidden Arsenal 7 Knights of the Stars was published in mid-2013, so the archetypes came out about a half a year later, but I think
so
they were
Necros
detailed
of
in
Sophia
Master
wouldn't have
Guide
even
3.
been out yet.
I mean, no, because Necros of Sophia was 2015, but no, that's when Hidden Arsenal 7 came out, Dallas.
Yeah.
That was still the dual terminal Master Guide was 2 Master Guides though before 5, so I don't know if like Konami started releasing archetypes before they got to trying to figure out the lore, and that may be why there's a lot of confusion because they just like kept adding dudes. Anyway, I think we talked enough about Sophia art-wise and like place in the lore. Let us explain why you never played Necros of Sophia. A light spellcaster, not a water. Level 11, 3600, 3400. You can ritual summon this with the Necroz ritual cards, but must be ritual summoned from your hand by using 3 monsters you control with different types and cannot be special summoned other ways. During either player's main phase 1, you can discard this card and 1 Necroz spell card. Your opponent can special summon monsters from the extra deck during this phase, and that's during either main phase 1. So that's pretty good. But when this card is ritual summoned, banish all other cards on the field and in the graveyards. You cannot normal summon, set, or special summon the other monsters this turn you activate this effect. So MBT did a video recently, a Twitter thread video about boss monsters that never got played in their own archetype, and mentioned Sophia as an example, and I believe he is correct. That discard effect, very powerful, but her summoning restrictions are just gross.
I think she might have been played in later builds of Necroz, but definitely not in when Necroz Wood is at its peak.
Yeah,
Was it
like
the peak-
some people
the
probably
peak
try
net?
to
It was
make
not
her work
played during
now
the peak.
because that discard effect is way stronger nowadays.
No, because Necroz came back in 2019.
Yeah.
Like, Necroz had a second run at relevance.
And
It was
and
a
at the
lot
time, I
shorter,
believe
but-
her discard quick effect, because it's during either player's main phase, you can discard this card and a spell card and just be like, hey, you can't use your extra deck. That's a pretty good effect these days. And obviously, if you actually get to summon her, banishing everything else on the field and in the graveyard, pretty baller. You better be winning that turn, though. And you probably aren't, because you can't normal summon or special summon the turn you activate the effect. So it's a decent concept of an effect, but it's definitely way too restricted to actually be like... It did not re-break Necroz of Sophia, so it's only... Maybe not okay is the right word, but it's definitely not the, like, you must run 3 of this boss monster. This is your win con.
No, sadly, Necroz's boss monster will and always probably will be Necros of Unicorn.
Yeah, just negating the extra deck is cool, bro. And then, like we said, we go on hold for 2 years. And then we remembered Ariel exists.
She wishes they didn't remember. Especially with
I don't
happens.
think people want to remember the dolls remember too. But that's another thing later.
Spoilers, things do not end well for Ariel.
It never has.
I mean, she was mostly fine in
She was one of the few people that made it out of the Gishki arc okay.
I mean, she was still a spirit, right? Or
No,
forget.
she was normal.
Wasn't it her mom who was the spirit?
Oh, I'm
No, it
thinking
was,
of the wrong
uh,
thing.
it was,
Right, it was just adapted. It was Avance's
was,
mom and Amelia, because Amelia died.
Amelia
Right, I was
the-
thinking.
just,
I was thinking about the wrong lady. I'm dumb.
Yeah,
I
no.
literally look at the screen and not be stupid.
Yes, look
Yeah,
at
no.
the stream.
Ariel didn't get fucked over until the Shadal's happened. No, the person who keeps getting fucked over in every story she's involved in is Winda.
Yeah.
She has
Yeah.
never had a break.
I mean, Winda's literally like been like, I think her corpse has been magically basically hacky sacked between many different factions.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, she
Revived and
gets
then
she
deaded
gets
and
better
revived
at the
and then
end. We
deaded.
de-shadol everybody.
Kind of.
But doesn't the world get destroyed by then?
No.
No, just
No,
most people are dead.
No, there was
okay.
yet another huge war and a lot of people died, but the world is not the thing with Dual Terminal is the world doesn't ever actually get destroyed. We keep punching Sophia in the face and it doesn't actually get destroyed.
Oh yeah. Well, punch Sophia in the face and punch Tiara in the face.
Well, yeah,
and
but
punch something else
Tiara
in the face.
is very similar to Sophia. I think it even
It's
might have Sophia's powers. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ariel was also seen once again much later. I guess Konami is on a 2-year cycle of remembering Ariel because actually no, it's longer than that because it was 2017. But in 2021, this was or 2020 rather, this was printed in the Shadal structure deck as Nail Shadal Ariel. So Konami was like, okay, we introduced Necroz Ariel, and then we didn't do anything with her. She doesn't have any ritual forms or anything. No, instead we gave Shurit another form, which we'll see in a second. So they introduced Nail Shadal Ariel, which is Ariel in a jar.
Yeah, it's not having a great time.
Weirdly enough, that's actually
she
a
kinda
key
looks
jar
like
is
she's
the weirdest
taking
thing.
Yeah, but it's still the Shadal jar also.
You know, it's weird where it's like,
You know what
right,
happens when
because the Cleese jarred most of the Shadals. Right?
You know what happens when you go into the jar. Bad things happen in the jar.
There's an
draw
alt
2
art
cards.
of the contract in the jar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of mayonnaise.
Okay, Loth got it.
But Ariel's, I mean, her stat line is the same as normal, but I think she was a spellcaster originally as a Gishki. Let me double check.
I believe so. That sounds right.
So Konami decided, yeah, she was a spellcaster. So Konami decided to do a weird thing. Ariel, Priestess of Nekroz, is a psychic, which is kind of a Gusto thing. I don't know what Konami meant by this.
Well, weren't some of the Gishki psychics as well? Some?
No, I don't believe so.
I
I
think,
think all of them were like
no,
either
it wasn't.
fish or
They were
sea
spellcasters,
serpent
they
or
were sea servants, they were fish.
aqua. Yeah,
Aquas.
Well,
I don't know if there
let's-
was a psychic.
it spells. serpent.
Was
This is also
Ariel
the-
ever part of a ritual monster?
Yeah, Mind August.
Yeah. Well, maybe becoming Mind August gave her.
I mean, I think what they
psychic-
were going for was that even though they never gave her any ritual monsters, I think the idea was because of the way Nekroz work, they wanted to make her her own distinct type. So
That's
they made her
probably fair.
psychic, because it's kind of related, you know, because she does have some connections to Gusto and eventually some of the Shadal nonsense, but it's a little weird. Anyway, her effect is once per turn you can reveal any number of Nekroz cards in your hand. Increase or reduce this card's level by the number of revealed cards until the end of this turn. If this card is tributed, you can add a Nekroz monster from your deck to your hand, except a ritual monster. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, Ariel just gives you the ability to level fix for certain rituals, and also when she's tributed, you get to cycle in other Nekroz cards. It's okay. I mean, I know you do need some normal summons in there. I don't really think in 2017 this did a lot for Nekroz, but it's an okay card. The fact that she just keeps cycling back in your fodder when she's tributed is probably decent. And then, once again, talking about flashing forward, we leave Nekroz alone entirely. Nekroz are in terms of support, as Dallas said, they did have a resurgence, but in terms of support, they are never heard from again for literally years until 2021. And
No, their support was incantation.
yeah, basically, like most old ritual archetypes.
Well,
We got...
as the one good ritual archetype.
I mean, it's true. I think a lot of archetypes found band-aids in the form of incantation, but Nekroz being already good was probably the most successful.
Nekroz went to tournaments with their newfound glory. The rest of them didn't do anything.
Which is a long story of Konami doing generic support for card types. You think it raises all the decks, but the problem is the decks that were already good just get better.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
again, the strong only get stronger. The weak.
It's
Stay
like
among the
it's
dregs.
They
like
get fucked.
it's like the Drytron problem. Honestly, like
It's...
Drytron also has technically they are a ritual archetype, but also has lots of generic ritual support. All that did was just be like, hey, this means we can break Cyber Angels, which weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
In regular, anyway, I am sure Cyber Angel builds will probably be tearing up Speed Duels when that box comes out.
Is this meant to be Necros of?
Oh, are they? Are
This
Cyber
is
Angels
Necroz
getting more
of
stuff?
Aredbar. No, yeah. If you haven't heard, no, Speed Duels is getting support. There's doing a GX.
Oh no, I heard that part. I thought the GX boxes were out already.
I'm
Is
fairly
the
certain
GX box
that was-
already out?
I'm fairly
It's-
I
certain-
think
Yeah, I think they are.
the
Yeah, 'cause
pen.
I thought
No, they're
MVT
out.
was talking about
They
that.
were
at
out like a
the-
week or two ago.
Oh, okay,
I
so they
remember
just came
watch-
out. All right.
Oh,
I
okay,
remember
they-
watching like a video of people doing like house tournaments of it.
Yeah, it's neat. I think there's a Paradox mini box that has a couple of other decks that's not out yet. That got delayed. But no, to answer Loth's question, this is Necroz of Aredbar, which is a Dragoonity monster.
Oh,
Okay. Oh yeah, I had to go to EDO
Who
Pro, type in the name.
Also, by
Arenboss.
the way, didn't come out until Ghost from the Past. So this is some weird Ouroboros shit Konami did. They released a new Dragoonity monster, and then they turned him into a Necroz.
We need a Necroz.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. So let's see. It was in the Dragoonity structure deck was what the new Red Bar was in the OCG. I am, by the way, in case you're asking, yes, I do want to punch Konami's nards for not giving me a Dragoonity structure deck as opposed to, just releasing it piecemeal.
I
like
mean,
an asshole.
we've ranted about Konami's stupid, weird hang-up about structure decks before.
Give me more of them, please.
Be more like Wizards. Print structure decks whenever you feel like it.
It was in Selection 10, so that was a set that they decided to just
You know what?
make either random new archetypes or random legacy support. So it's not entirely out of nowhere. I guess it's just the TCG decided to import them. It's still really weird that I think this Dragoonity structure deck was in 2020, and then they also came out with a Necroz version of it in the same year. It's like, hey, we can throw a bone.
Threw me freaking bone here.
So art-wise,
the
Ared
evil.
Bar clearly a Shurit, but even more hair than usual.
The shonen.
Eh. I feel like
Mid to
there's
late
not a lot
20s
to there's not a lot to say about this because the Ared Bar armor covers him entirely. You can only
I
see half
actually
of his
think this
face
is
anyway.
the
Yeah.
kind of the weirdest art. Not bad, but just the one that.
Yeah,
looks the
Ared Bar has
least
a fuck ton of
Necroz-y.
wings, so they had
Yeah.
to give him. I mean, it's our first Necroz of a Dragoonity monster, which again a little weird, because the Dragoonity line
I mean, they
was
did kind of just take their dead bodies.
yeah, that was the Lance, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't do more because Dragoonity was also a decent extra deck selection. Like the Vajrayana line was popular back in the day for going into Stardust, and it became good again when Crystal Wing came out because Vajrayana is also turn 1 Crystal Wing, which is pretty fucking strong if you can actually do that combo.
True.
So it's a little interesting that they waited so long to integrate them into Dragoonity, and then also they picked Ared Bar. I don't think it's like you said, Dallas. I don't think it's bad. It's just a bit of a weird look because Ared Bar is like a very big boss boy.
It's the least Necroz-y Necroz deck, like Necroz monster.
Yeah, I feel like the Necros very firmly established them with their drawing on the Ice Barrier monsters or even the Ally of Justice stuff as
Like stuff from that specific generation.
I mean, that's the same generation as Dragoonity. I mean, I guess what I want to say, I think why it's a weird aesthetic is because we know that, Ascalon and Ared Bar, they, fought the Ice Barrier dragons. So this is a, weird clashing aesthetic from how Necroz, especially how Shurit usually looks. I mean, we can't say too much because this kid also was a bird once. And it was stupid.
Yeah.
So this isn't the dumbest looking Necroz, but it's weird, right? The Dragoonities are already armored dragons, so turning them into armored dragon knights is just this doesn't really.
I said before, I don't
lot.
think it's the worst looking Necroz. I think it's just the least Necroz looking.
Yeah,
Necroz.
it's a look that doesn't fit their previous themes.
The weird thing to me is if comparing the tails of the two, it looks like the tails on Shurit here is a different color than the rest of the armor.
Well, I mean, it's because you can only see the underside. He's also doing fire, which is weird because he's still a water type. Which I think is also, like, doing some lighting stuff. But it's the same tail type as him. It's just, I think you can see it is dual-colored. It's just the lighting is different in these two shots.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's some weird choices here. So what Necros of Ardbar does is he doesn't do anything because he's huge. I mean, he does stuff, but I'm fairly certain this guy came out and Necros decks didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So this is a level 10 warrior ritual, 3,300 attack, 3,200 defense. You can ritual summon this with any. You can't use level 10 monsters. You can use each effect once per turn. You can discard this card, tribute Necros monsters from your hand and or field if you do send that many Necros monsters from your deck to your graveyard, which I feel is slightly excessive. You already have a Foolish in archetype. This just lets you get more graveyard setup? I'm not sure. I guess you get to proc their tribute effects. So conditionally, its discard effect can get you a lot of advantage. It just requires a lot of setup and brain power. And then its on-field effect is when a monster effect is activated. Quick effect, tribute a monster from your hand or field. Negate the activation if do banish this card. So I feel what they're going for with Ardbar here is, because he has tribute effect in hand, they're trying to let you get, like, activate the monster effects of your Necroz, which require tributing more. I don't know if he's actually the best guy to do that because he's still a big stonking level 10. He is an interesting card, and, you know, a monster negate is a monster negate that you technically probably plus off of because you tribute something good. Probably good? I don't think it definitely didn't make any waves. I didn't hear anybody talking about, you know, Necroz 2021 or anything. No. I don't think it makes enough of an impact. It's just a weird throwback. Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it, filthy casual. It's kind of an in-house herald. Guess what? When this card came out in the TCG, Drytron existed.
Yeah, yeah, Drytron's just shit all over this card.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the Drytron Ben 10 Herald package, the Drytron deck, like, just does. This card is not unique enough to do that, and it's very weird because it would have come out at similar levels in the OCG when they decided to import this. They would have already known that it was out, and I don't think you can plug this into Drytron because it's a water and a ritual.
Nope.
So it's a decent attempt, and if they made some other Necroz, like, main deck monsters, or if they came up with you know, some like other Necroz spell traps, because I don't think, other than their ritual spells, I don't think Necroz have any back row.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's probably some genuine support they could do for Necroz that actually, like, might make them a rogue deck again.
Make Necroz great again.
Ardbar isn't that, and
No.
I can understand probably why. We've talked about this with a couple of archetypes. I'm pretty sure there are archetypes that Konami does not legacy support or legacy support very strongly because they made a lot of splash in the meta and they are concerned about people being into them. So long as that archetype is not about cute anime girls we can market. Fuck you, Sky Striker.
I mean, Sky Striker. Look, being honest, Sky Striker did not do anything even when it got Ingage banned.
I mean, it didn't do anything. Well, it didn't do anything because those cards weren't hit in Master Duel. It's just they're fucking annoying. But I
mean, it's arguably. I'll say this. It's worse in Master. Sky Striker is one of the few decks that is worse in Master Duel than it is in paper. Right
because
now.
it can't side against.
No, because they limited what's her name to 1.
Oh.
Zeke?
No.
Kagari.
Kagari.
No.
I still have not enjoyed a single matchup against a Sky Striker player.
Oh
because
no, I'm just saying. They're
doesn't mean they're still not
consistently
annoying.
They're a rogue annoying deck. There's
But
their tier. They're rogue annoying.
The problem is that Konami can market them by giving them their own manga and giving them more merch, so they're not going to keep shoveling out fucking Sky Striker cards. Luckily, at least one of those I think is bad. There's the weird, like, the weird boy mascot character who might also be a girl. I'm not sure. It's very hard to tell with anime characters. But, yeah. I mean, they don't need to ban Herald of Ultimateness. That card is old. Do you know how old Herald of Ultimateness is?
I mean, I would like them to ban Herald of Ultimateness just because it stops Drotron being an asshole deck. Personally,
I mean, I guess. I started watching. I didn't watch all of it. I
play
started
their own
watching
monsters.
MBT's Masochist Bandits tournament idea, and he's just like, ban Hulk because everybody goes into the Auroradon line. And I'm just like, MBT, you should play back what you said there. If everybody goes into the Auroradon line, why don't we hit Auroradon?
Well, his
'cause Hulk
other
can
his
go into
other
a lot of
reasoning
other
was when
lines.
he got around to unbanning certain tuners that
Yeah,
are
that-
banned.
Well,
That's
yeah, he
true.
wants to unban tuners. We'll see how that works out for him. I don't think we should.
Yeah.
Just because Synchro is really, really strong anyway. We saw in his last tournament if you give Synchron literally one Jet Synchron, that's
I
all
mean,
they need.
Well, Jet Synchron is the one I don't agree with. I think Gub could come back now and it wouldn't do anything.
Is Gub actually banned?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still bad.
Gub's
Okay.
Gub's banned.
Gub is one of those ones that, like,
Plague Spreader was banned, but it's not banned currently.
Plague Spreader's never been banned.
Was it limited?
It's been limit what? Yeah, it's been limit
Okay,
one.
that's because there. I remember this story. There is a card that clones Plague Spreader counts as because there are several synchro monsters that require Plague Spreader because old synchros are stupid. So I'm like, I know it's seen time on the FL list because they never do that unless a card does that.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Yeah, it's never been banned. Well, okay, I'm not gonna say never. It has never been banned for any significant amount of time.
Yeah.
It could have been like banned for one how they do that sometimes. It's like it's banned for one format. Okay, we're done.
Yeah, but Jet Synchron is there. I mean,
Jet has other problems.
I guess. Well, let me read Gub.
It's once per duel. It's a hard once per duel too, so you can't even recur it.
Cards and graveyards in the top. Do special summon. Yeah, I mean, okay, you can send that off. I mean, honestly, I don't know why I don't know why these cards have to be mutually exclusive with Hulk because you can just. I know it gives you a free guy, but there's like, and this is what I was gonna say about.
Well,
I don't think they should you should ban Hulk just to unban every card that is probably banned because
Well,
of
yeah,
Hulk
we
lines
shouldn't
because
unban a lot of those cards.
because those cards they will just find a new link monster to pitch them. Hey, guess
No.
what? Most tuners are effect monsters, so you can find
Well,
other
I mean,
shit to do.
I still think Hulk deserves time on the ban list, but that's for other reasons.
I mean, maybe I don't know. It's just like
so
I said.
generic.
Yeah.
The main thing I see is people complain
think
about
Hulk
going
is
Hulk
errata.
into the Auroradon line. I mean, they're
Well,
not
yeah,
going
and
to errata
then-
it because it wasn't an anime. They don't errata cards for fun. No, Hulk is not iconic enough for
Yeah.
Konami to errata. If
Aw.
Chris runs if they're like, okay, if they actually ban
They'll
Hulk,
just print Crystron Welka Fibrex, which is
Basically,
just the
yeah.
same card, but
no, that we've seen that with literally with Metal Foes. They realized Electromite had to be limited or banned, so they produced a new Metal Foes link. Like they'll just make a new one, but like I said, the thing is with if what people are complaining about is the fact that Hulk goes too easily into Auroradon into whatever, then why is Auroradon not the problem card?
there's a couple other lines from Hulk that I really are really like. The other one is this Hulk does have a third effect. I know it's shocking, or a second effect. Sorry. The Hulk into a level 8 synchro with the tuner into on your opponent's turn Satellite Warrior because you can go into Formula Synchron and then Synchro on your opponent's turn, which is fairly strong.
Yeah.
Like, Hulk could do a lot of things.
I think he has access code talker lines too that are
well,
fairly.
yeah. I mean,
Because you go Hulk into bring.
I don't think Access Code Talker is a problem card though.
A spellcaster tune. Well, but he's a very flexible card that everybody uses.
Well,
Yeah, but
yeah,
he's just
because
kind of a big
you need to
asshole,
win
though.
you need to win the game at some point.
Like,
Yeah.
like literally,
Like,
Access Code's job is he is a big asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he's
access
the-
code
he's the
exists so
finisher.
that link climb decks have a way they win the
con.
game.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm
So they have
not
a
saying
payoff.
that access code is the problem, but it's Hulk is, I think, too easily used in too many.
Well, the problem is it's so easy to make Hulk. That's the
Yeah.
real problem.
Well, it's so easy. I mean, the reason why it's so easy to make Hulk is because he requires a tuner. I think when they
a
first came
tuner
out, that wasn't a main issue. The main thing now is synchro is too good. I think many people would agree. There's a lot of really good synchro decks out there, and if you don't want to play synchro, you're probably a little fucked. I guess you can play Flunder,
no,
which is fun.
I wouldn't say that because like Xyz is still pretty
Well,
strong.
I mean,
and
it's
Link's
true.
still-
Splite is
It's
a
really
rank.
just-
Splite is a rank 2 deck, so Xyz is about to come back, and Xyz is
Well,
always
also,
on the
I think-
even before that, we still have Adventure, Brave, Phantom Knight stuff.
Well,
Burning
that
Abyss.
the it's weird, right? The thing is, the Xyz isn't necessarily good because of new cards. Yes, they do release new cards, and they did unban Rusty Bardiche eventually. So like, there's stuff for them, but like, they haven't printed a new Burning Abyss card in like a bajillion years.
No, that's true. I would
So
like. Well, like
I mean,
honestly,
they
we're in a
do
really
they don't
weird-
need to though.
We're in a really weird time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I think there's a good deck for each of the main summoning. Well, yeah, no, each of the main summoning methods, except for Pendulum. Really, Pendulum is honestly, I will say this, is the worst summoning method in the modern game.
And I think maybe they're about to fix that
I really hope they do.
with the upcoming sets for Japan.
How
We'll
so?
see how it turns out, but
like, 'cause
I don't
can
actually think
of,
there's any big generic Pendulum support.
like Fusion. I can think of Invoke Dogmatica.
Was there that link? That new link?
The
something
Sulfacord link?
Pendulum.
That's old. I don't
Yeah,
think
no,
it did
Pendulum
anything.
hasn't gotten any new support.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're doing interesting things where they're still making Pendulum decks. I talked about how in the Duelist pack, they, in addition to other boss monsters, they're also putting a pair of Pendulum Scales in Amazon S now. That will
I
not
like
break
what they're
Pendulum,
doing with
but-
Pendulum stuff. I'm just saying, in terms of meta relevance, Pendulum is the least relevant.
Most
summoning
of what Konami
Uh,
is doing right now, I feel like
Beyond
is.
the Pendulum?
I don't actually know if Beyond the Pendulum will do that much, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's a link to. I can only see the. Hold on, I'm gonna actually have to look it up. 'Cause...
Like even in Master Duel right now, Pendulum decks are.
Oh, yeah, I don't think this did anything, David. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest because this card's already out in the OCG because this is coming up on our new set, Dimension Force.
Oh, okay. I thought it was newer than that.
No, it's Defo. So it came out
Yeah.
it came out this year in Japan already.
As
it
the
is.
group
As
president-
evidenced by the Splite thing.
as one of the
Yeah.
groups, one of the group's two Pendulum players that loves Pendulum decks. Pendulum's in a rough state.
I
just
mean,
because of
I like
how
Pendulum decks. I don't play
Oh,
I don't play
right.
the Arc V Pendulum Blob deck very well. There's too many
Right,
cards.
there's also those Valiants, I guess. But...
Valiant is a funny deck, but it's not really a It's weird. It's a
Valiant
Pendulum
is
deck
a
that
weird deck
defensive
about
deck.
controlling board position.
It's a position deck. Is
Yeah,
what
they
put
use
it.
they use pendulum scales to play with the positions on the
It's-
board.
Basically, it's like an SRPG deck where the pendulums are just the starting positions.
How the
Like,
I hate
like the
hunting
problem
for
with
certain images on the internet.
honestly, the thing is, I think
because Loft made a
they
joke
need
about
to-
staring at this screen, so we're gonna fix it.
they need to figure out a way to make the Master Duel restriction on Pendulum less punishing without breaking it. My
Yeah.
personal suggestion being
Yeah.
bring back Pendulum Zones and just keep the extra deck restriction. Or do some. They need something to fix Pendulum.
You mean like a half measure, pretty much?
Well, yeah, we
'cause
talked
the-
we talked about how the why is it how is this
Like,
image
I can think of
literally-
a meta representative deck for each of the summoning methods except for Pendulum, and that says a lot.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
tried. It has
So,
not gone well.
The extra deck restriction being that they have to.
Summon to a zone.
To
and
the
link monster
EMZ
clones
or
to.
to a
Okay.
link zone if they come out of the extra deck. Yes, because I think the,
Oh,
reason, the
okay,
reason why
keep the
Pendulum is still
Pendulum zone.
bad
Okay,
is
yeah.
because Konami rightfully nerfed them when they switched Master Rules to 4 because guys, we're at that point in Prague. Peak Pendulum Magician decks where you get to
it's
make like
this week is gonna be.
you get to
Me-
make a full
me and
board
Rob
of
are gonna
horrifying
have to-
motherfuckers, and then you blow up all your own guys and then summon them back, and then even if your
Me and
opponent
Rob are
blows them
gonna
all
have
up,
to
your opponent
please
summons
to
them all
not
back.
get this deck gutted because it's gonna be gutted by the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh anyway.
I mean, some of those cards will probably still get got. I mean, like Astrograph has not been let out of jail, but Konami
No,
is
it's a one.
slowly.
It's a one.
Purple
Is it a one?
poison.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a one.
but that's
And
what I mean.
I'll be
Konami is
honest-
slowly rolling back
Yeah, and I'll be
they're pendulum
honest, and
bans.
again, MBT brought this up for his ban list tournament, that that's probably because they spent so long not banning Electromite, in his opinion.
Yeah, because Electromite, Electromite technically makes Pendulum good in the Link era, but not like in a
Yeah.
normal way, but in a like just like fuck you way.
Yeah.
But by the way, I have pulled up Road of the King, a very popular OCG meta site. I do not know. This is not the same graph I saw. I think this is just general for May, but I think somebody showed a recent tournament that's different. But Splight is well over half.
Yeah.
And
God,
I
I
actually
hate
saw.
that name.
I saw.
So what is Splight as a card? Because I've never actually seen it.
They're rank
it's a new
twos.
archetype.
It's a rank 2 archetype based around, I think, one
Link
Xyz and one Link monster.
Yeah.
It's S4, right? Is the new one?
What? What is?
Oh no, that's Why is there Why is the Master Duel Road of the King the first one that comes? Oh god.
I don't know. I'm kind of annoyed by how people don't. Guys, Yu-Gi-Oh players do not enjoy every form of Yu-Gi-Oh differently. I know you want clicks. If you do news on Master Duel and you do news on Rush Duel, split those the fuck up. They're literally different formats. Please don't kill us.
OCG metagame. I'm guessing Splight is the one that looks like a Digimon.
Yeah.
They're
I
the
guess.
kind of electric-y looking ones. Yeah.
They are a Dark Thunder level
Yeah.
2 archetype.
Yeah, no, see, wait, Exo Sister is doing what?
Yeah, Exorcister actually has a presence.
They must have got some new support or something.
They get a
They
new
have to
card.
be
They get a new card
because,
in
like-
They get a new card in Dimensional Fissure.
I was
And
like-
also, because remember they're very heavy on graveyard involvement, so they might just be meta. Yeah, the organization is like Mirror Sprite. I also wish those guys didn't have a sense of humor, just because that means that if I want to bring up your articles, assholes, we have to look at images of like Sprite or whatever funny meme face you put on
So
it.
Omega, it's really funny. I think you're actually wrong. There are no synchro decks in the top cut of OCG.
In the
at all.
OCG, yes, that's what I mean. They get phased
Yeah,
out.
It's fusion, whatever the fuck Flunder plays.
Main deck.
Monarch.
Whatever the fuck Eldritch plays. Is Exo Sister? They're
Trap
Xyz,
Fusion.
right?
Yeah, they're an Xyz.
Yeah,
and actually, I was
they're
going to say,
four.
I think that's
Xyz.
also why they're good, is because they're a rank 4 Xyz deck, which means you also go into Utopia lines with them.
So, quick thing I'd like to point out that makes me upset, which is the Splight Xyz monster literally just says you can use you can treat a Link 2 Link monster as a level 2.
I mean, yeah,
that's another reason Hulk has to get hit, because that's what they do, isn't it? They go Hulk
this
into
cause-
a level 2 tuner into this guy.
Well, this
that
context
probably.
seems
I mean,
like
that makes
Link
sense if
2 monsters
if
you control
splites
as
are
level
like.
2.
Yeah, if
I
they're
mean,
creating
it makes
50
sense for the archetype. What it should say is you can treat a splight rank 2, but they don't want to make it that specific, and that's why this is tearing up
And
the meta.
then,
Uh,
following up, if this card has a Fusion Synchro Xyz and or a Link monster as material, its original attack is doubled.
Yeah, no, that might get. I'm gonna look at split decks, and that might get Hulk hit, because Hulk is just this guy instantly.
That's true. That
Yeah,
you are correct. That is very easy to rank up in.
Not many.
I've also pulled up the card Dave was talking about, Beyond the Pendulum. That's another link to Pendulum monster. If this card is linked some in the extra zone, you can pay 12,000 LP, add a Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, but the rest of this tournament, unless you Pendulum summon, you cannot activate monster effects, and the effects in your Pendulum zones are negated. If two monsters of the same levels are Pendulum zone at the same time, and a card zones controls two, you can target two cards on the field, destroy them. Yeah, no, David, that card doesn't do anything. I assume because of you cannot, until you Pendulum summon, you cannot activate monster effects and your Pendulum zones are negated, which means that what you do is you make Beyond the Pendulum, you add a card, and then your opponent is just like, hey, good for you. I pop your Pendulum scales because you can't protect them. Now you can't Pendulum summon, you dead end yourself.
Look, I'll be very real. What they need to figure out how to do is buff pendulums without buffing specifically Pendulum Magician. Because that is the one pendulum deck that is like, if you look at the OCG, it's still there. It still gets top, but no other pendulum deck does anything at all.
Yeah, Pendulum
they need to
Magician
figure out a way to-
Magician is really the apex of the Pend deck.
Yeah, They need to figure out a way to buff Pendulum without buffing Panda Magicians.
Sorry, I'm not sure if we went over this when we did 2 King or 2 Jacob, but Zephyr
We did not do
Metaltron
this.
is a thing. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no, Zephyr of Metaltron is that's gonna be a funny one.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry for bringing that up to derail us back to what we're
That's
talking
cool.
about.
But God, what the fuck is it? Some of the deck names, I'm just like, I'm not gonna look it up. I'm so happy Mr. Rune is doing stuff just to annoy people who hate that deck. I'm going.
I mean,
to
I
play
don't
it.
know if it's doing stuff, but I guess it's in the.
Yeah,
other
no, there are
space.
4 that topped in the OCG.
Okay.
You know, I agree with
Oh,
Dallas
that's
that
good.
Pendulum Magician is a very strong archetype. As someone
Oh
who
no,
loves Pendulum Magician.
no, Master Rule 3 Pendulum Magician is actually disgusting.
Here we
Yeah.
go. Okay, I've got it. This isn't from Road to the King, but here's a. I mean, other than the Splite, I love this list, but here's the list I saw earlier. MBT talked about that. So 70% Splite, but Evil Twin, Tyralements, and Exorcisters are represented. That's rad.
Well, hey, you'll be
Actually,
lucky. Hey, Evil
what's
Twin are
I guess
represented
someone's
in the
really good, I
list
guess,
as
yeah.
well, Omega. It's just Evil Twin Splite.
Yeah, but this says
Of course.
Evil Twin on its own, so I assume that in this, which is more recent, because this is until this is April to May here, all the way to the end.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
this...
I mean, I will say, Dallas, I want to say, I think a reason why splites are good in the OCG is because they can hypothetically apparently search Max C.
Oh.
I mean, I'm
Because
looking
Max
at a
C,
lot
Max
of this...
C is a level 2.
Yeah.
I thought it was level
I mean,
3.
No, it's 2.
no, yeah, Max C's level 3.
I'm
the
pretty
Cs are
sure
3,
I
except,
just
like-
looked
except,
at it,
except,
so
like,
you're
combating C.
wrong.
Let me
I'm
check.
looking
Max
at it
C
with
is
my
two.
I literally
I know
looked
what
at
it
it with my eyes. I googled the check. You guys think I think about Max C to know what the fuck its level is off the top of my head? No, I opened up a new fucking tab and I looked it up. I don't
Oh no, it's.
say anything off the top of my head.
I mean, generally, I'm looking at the deck. They don't. I mean, they run Max C, but oh, that's another card that is a reason why it's getting hit. Hey, guess what? Frog's back.
Yeah, no, it's I mean it's a rank 2 deck and they only have one Xyz monster. You have 12 other slots in your extra deck, so yeah, they run Toad.
Yeah, Hulk. Like I said, Hulk is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Filthy Casual brings up a good point. Effect Failure is a 2, right?
No, effectively
Effectively
there's a
there's
1.
a
No,
one.
Effect
One.
Failure is a
Okay,
1.
never mind then.
No,
No,
other
the-
hand traps are 2.
In the OCG, I mean, you can only run. So we will have a different problem with Splite because we can play 3 Toad over here. You can't play any
Yeah.
Max C, but you can play 3 Toad. That's going to be Splite Frog is going to be God forbid, I assume they run the Paleo package in this as well.
No, they don't.
Really?
No. God, the deck. I'm looking at the deck list, or at least the top one that won. It is. I mean, I'm just gonna assume Splite monsters because they're all in. I've never seen these, and they're all. And then 3 Swap Frog, 1 Dupe Frog, 1 Ronin Tonin, 3 Diva, 3 Max C, 3 Ash, 2 Ghost Ogre, 1.
Yeah, it's
Haunted
literally
Bell,
just it's
3 Veiler, 2
Oh my
Cull,
God.
2 Desire, or 2. One of these pots. I don't fucking know. 1
it's
Cross
literally
out, 3
fucking
Impervious.
Splite Frog. Ugh. It's
Yeah,
it's
no,
Splite Frog and
Welcome
3
to
Max
hell.
C. Well, thank God in the TCG we don't need to worry about the Max C searching.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna make this deck less good.
Yeah,
it's gonna make it less good, but it's not gonna make it less.
I
this.
suspect it will not be like 70% representation in the TCG,
No, it'll probably only be 50%.
but it'll still be really good. Yeah, we'll have to see
or
how
a
the
solid
business shakes
40.
out.
Hey, spoiler: the second top deck was Splite Evil Twin.
Yeah, because the twins are 2, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
I'll look at it. I would love Live Twin to be good. Pure Live Twin hasn't been solid ever.
No, Splite is. Oh god, this looks disgusting.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, Splite is.
I should also point out.
support for
By the way,
anything that's
guys,
leveled.
in case you didn't know, Splite is another lore archetype. It's in the same setting as Dogmatica, Branded, and Sword Soul. So of course it's
I
fucking
forgot
good.
about that.
I don't know, Konami. If you're gonna shill this story arc this hard, why the fuck haven't you monetized this?
Okay, this is really funny. I found my favorite Splite
Why
build.
can't you just start making anime about your
I found my
lore
favorite
arc?
Splite
What's
build
up?
because it's really funny.
What's the build?
Splite with the Chaos Beasts from the Sacred Beast support.
Oh my god, that's really
That's
hilarious.
funny. And running the continuous spell.
But also, Loth brought up some interesting stuff. We've gotten more Animation Chronicle cards. They are not the armor cards. It's from 5D's Excellent Arc V, so we can continue to cry. But it is we have a Crystal Skull.
Oh, it's that the
Stonehenge as an equip card.
It's a weird deck guy.
We have a Dream Shark. We have Heroic Call. And then we have the Cicada deck.
Wait, can you link that to me?
I posted in Trad.
Okay.
So the Cicada deck, and then whatever the fuck Bolt Star is, I don't even know. Probably something from Arc V.
Earth Bolt, Sky Bolt, and Break Bolt Star. Yeah.
Oh, right. No, that is Arc V from those two asshole brother guys.
Okay, so it was like a tag team deck. Makes sense. But yeah, those are also being introduced.
Wait, it's a guy that... Oh, well, I won't say it. Guy who got just finally smiled because you all about smiles.
But before we go, because we've been going for 3 hours, I forgot earlier, but we are at peak viewers, so I want to mention this because we're good now. Number one. So next in our list is
should be Ritual Beast, right?
Yeah, Ritual Beast, I believe, is pretty early because they're supposed to be some of the survivors. We could also we could do Yang Zing, but that might get out there.
Well, Yang Zing we should probably do with Klee or with Shadal.
Yeah, I mean we Yang Zing would be first.
Well, I think we should do Ritual Beast first.
Yeah.
I think we should do Ritual Beast and Teller before that, just because those are the other two.
And we would have to do those before Shadal, so we can hit those up as well. Because Shadal is weird. It not only does it eat past characters, it also eats some present characters. As you do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna make so many jokes when we do the Ritual Beast episode.
But yeah, we can do Ritual Beast next. We do have FA there. But I want to let everybody know, obviously with Prague this week, we are about to wrap up Arc V. And currently we are at 3,081 subs. So if you get to us to 3,100 subs, I, Omega, will do Dimension Dragons. That's right. Pendulum Dragon, Ixies Dragon, Synchro Dragon, Phenom, and Fusion Dragon. And probably Z-Arc and some Supreme King bullshit.
I mean,
I will be here a long time and die.
Thank God it'll be over the summer.
And I'm setting that at a sub challenge at 3,100. Do it. You won't. You got no balls. You won't do it. You won't take me over 3,100 subs.
I'm not making extra accounts.
But yeah, that's just, I wanted to throw that out there while we're at peak viewership. If you get us to over 3,100 subs, I at least will be there for all of it. I cannot guarantee that the rest of us will be alive.
I do not guarantee my sanity.
I'm gonna lose to Dallas, so I might just leave. Actually,
I am going to tomorrow. Axerman will be murdered live on stream.
Yeah, I mean, I literally said this. I tested decks against Loth, and I was just like,
yeah.
I think I just lose next week. I don't think any of my decks do anything. Should I give up?
I believe Loft has a 65% win rate with that deck.
Me and Loft he has against me. We have pretty much an exactly 50-50 win rate.
Yeah,
we just took turns OTKing each other.
Yeah, so no, this is gonna be really interesting. You're gonna see why we talk all this shit about Pendulum Magicians.
Like, once again, Pendulum Magicians will never be this strong again. It will be this way for exactly 1 week. But for this week, it is demonically strong.
But, first of all, if Loth hasn't seen this, I want to share it with him. But I do really quickly because we did... actually, did we do Morphtronics as a fail portrayal yet?
Yes.
I think we did, yeah. So they've actually announced the actual Morphtronic support, so we should talk about it really quick. Let me switch tabs. Because they've actually got some interesting stuff here. So let me switch what window I'm capturing. Morphtronics. So, we've got Morphtronic Telephone, a level 1 Earth Tuner. It gains some effects. In attack position, you can roll a 6-sided die, and if you do, gain life points equal to the result. Then special summon...
He's got a gun!
Special summon a Morphtronic monster from your graveyard whose level is equal to or lower than the result, so that's pretty good for synchro plays. You gain life points and get a special summon a boy. And in defense position, you can roll a 6-sided die, excavate, and send an excavated one to your graveyard, and then top or bottom. So doing some interesting graveyard support and play. Let me move chat to the other side of the screen so you guys aren't blocking the text. Then we have Gadget Gamer, the greatest card name. Because gadget stuff was also not the like colored gadgets, but other gadget cards were technically part of this as well.
Gadget hauler.
Yeah, which this supports. So Gadget Gamer is a level 3 Earth Machine, 3 under 3 undo. When normal summoned, add a level 1 machine monster from your deck to your hand. You can tribute this card, special summon a Morphtronic from your hand, and then special summon Gadget Hauler from your hand or deck. So basically, you can normal summon this guy and add whichever phone you want, and then summon it, and then also get out Gadget Hauler. They have a new Sync 4, which is technically generic, though I don't think you really use it a lot.
Looks like it's based on the twins.
Yeah, it's Morphtronic Earphone. So it's wireless earbuds, but also the 2 twins. It's adorable. 1,200 attack, 1,800 defense, 1 tuner plus 1 to run on tuner monsters. If this card is special summoned, target a face-up monster on the field. It is treated as a tuner, so this card can be if you want to do that, or another one. You can target a synchro monster on the field, equip this card from your field or graveyard to it, so it has a graveyard effect. A monster equipped with this card can make a second attack on monsters during each battle phase. So this is just a really good support card because it can
Equip it to your guy.
Yeah, and also it can make itself the tuner if you want to. You've got Morphtronic Convert Unit, a new normal spell. Target a machine monster you control. Apply this effect based on its battle position, attack, special summon Morphtronic with different name, but then put that other one in your deck. On the top of your deck, so you get to draw it. Or Excavate. So I guess you could just do Self-Fun and resummon it like they show in the image. Defense position, change it to attack position, and then summon a level 4 lower machine monster from your hand. Also pretty good for your plays. Life Extreme is an equip card. Monster loses 1,500 attack. You only do it on Earth Synchro monster. Once per turn, target a card in the field, destroy it. If this card is sent from the spell trap zone, tribute a Power Tool Dragon, special summon Life Stream Dragon from your extra deck. So that's a good way for Power Tool to actually get Life Stream out, and then they're going to reprint Power Tool, Self Fun, Smart Fun, Remoten, Life Stream, Junk Box, Power Tool C&D. So if you want to play Morphtronics, I don't know if this makes them like high tier, but it definitely gives them modern support where they have a lot better plays now.
Yay! Morphtronics in the future, baby.
It gives a bit more randomization, but honestly,
I
considering
mean, that's
you
their
play that
gimmick
with,
already.
like, you play 3. You're basically going to play 3 of the level 1 tuners anyway to like just synchro spam.
It is just like, hey, fucker, you like dice?
Yeah, and they've got a lot more flexibility, so I think it's pretty cool. So I will switch the window back so I'm not capturing Chrome anymore. That's Notepad. I want to go to Paint. There we go.
Looking forward to that.
But yeah, so that's the Morphtronic support. So there's your update. No, you can't Cannon Soldier loop with telephone because Cannon Soldier belongs in jail. I joked about this. I think for MR6, you should make it so that links are destroyed when put into battle position, when they're put in defense position, and you cannot inflict effect damage to your opponent on turn 1. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is solved, everybody.
I think that will at least redevelop game. I think that will at least kill half of the asshole deck.
I don't think it'll solve a lot of the problems of Yu-Gi-Oh, but it definitely solves one big
It will
one.
kill the degenerates.
If you
No, it
disable
won't. It kills a specific type of
if you
degenerate.
disable burn loop FTKs, you can probably unfuck a decent amount of the ban list. Not all of it, because like obviously if you can live through one turn, but I think it's hard to set up a board full of negates and then also set up a board full of where you can go into an FTK on turn 3.
Yeah, I think there's like literally one card that I don't want them to bring out just because I don't want to tempt people. Spoiler: it's Mass Driver. I don't.
I mean, I think you should keep Mass Driver banned because it's not once per turn and all that stuff. You can, like you said, you can use that any old turn, but there are so many decks that are just unfun, and like I understand burn players without FTKs, you suck, but like that's Konami's fault.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that because you can still do OTKs.
Well, yeah, I mean, and a lot of the really good decks, like the other burn decks that were like meta.
Yeah, a lot of chain burn decks don't do FTKs.
Chain burn and nurse burn were not technically FTK decks. They require setup.
Nurse burn was.
I mean, it's kind of because you can activate it. You activate it when your opponent's turn starts, but in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, that means your opponent has a handful of hand traps they can work with.
No, that's true. Like it's not. I'm not saying it's an FTK. I'm just saying.
No. If Nurse Burn goes well, you can set it up on turn
time.
1, but it's still you can still respond to it because you don't actually like do it right away. Like
also, who really cares about burn players?
I mean, outside of like starving Venom bullshit and like other FTK loops, it's not really a.
By the way, I don't feel bad if you do FTKs because Konami has the data. They should just ban it.
Yes, if you FTK in Master Duel, Konami should
I am
have
presenting Konami with the data to ban this card. That is what I am doing.
Konami made a ban list and they didn't hit the FTKs, so that's their fault now.
Yeah,
Like, play it out. Whatever,
Yeah.
Master Duel is a cesspool, but
I
hopefully all the
You say
tryhards get
as I'm
rewarded.
facing a Valkyrie deck.
What rank are you in?
I'm in gold 1, I think.
I mean, that's the middle tier now, so seems
True.
about right.
But I also faced Sword Soul Penny earlier, so there's just a bunch of
I mean, a new
different
season just started. Some assholes in Platinum got kicked down to Gold.
True.
Yeah.
It was me. I was that asshole.
Yeah, I might boot up Master Duel later, but I know Loth wants some test games, and we're out of stream juice, so that
Yeah.
was I just wanted to talk about more Trinix, and I wanted to challengeth you all to get me to 31 subs, 3,100 subs, so we'll do Dimension
I
Dragons.
do want to test game again. Did this Valkyrie deck just make True King of all calamities? Hold on.
I think some of them are level 9.
Hold on.
Wait.
All right. Well, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But I'm going to end the
That's
stream now.
awesome.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you later. If you haven't got enough of us, go and check out last week's Fail Portrayal. You can support us on
And
Patreon to do a
check out
poll.
this week's progression series. It will be memorable.
Yeah, check out the one that's
sad that I
upcoming.
won't be there for that.
Well, at least you can always watch the VOD.
And Robin
God,
says he won't be there either.
It will
Okay,
probably be a short episode.
Chrome, I actually need you
I
to
will
take me
see
to
you all later.
Patreon because I want to look up the poll really quick before I go away. Because we do have a Fail Portrayal poll. Let me see what the stats are. Dallas just has the beans. The audience likes Dallas because Spirit Monsters, I specifically name-checked Yamato Dragon, is at 6, which is the most.
Wow.
Traptrix
so
is
good at
number
Yu-Gi-Oh.
2 at 3, and then Sidra and Kawakimeru are actually tied for number 3 at
I'm just
2.
gonna start calling myself the People's Champion.
I mean, it's
Maybe.
true. You have had 2 suggestions on the Fail Portrayal poll that are swinging big, and it was blind. I don't think the audience could guess because I
Maybe.
replaced 2 things.
Maybe next time I should just change my thing to harpies.
Hey, if you want to bring that up there,
Well,
we'll try. I want to do Harpy sometime.
I
said
want to
this
see
before.
if the
wait,
waifu
We're not still on air.
archetypes.
No, we are still on air.
Do
If you
better.
don't want to say that on air, I'll get out of here. But I want to remind people about the poll.
No,
If you
good.
support us at the 5 and up level, you can vote in the Fail Portrayal poll.
This is a very different reason I put this on Fail Portrayal. Is I think it's the best art in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Despite the archetype itself being of questionable goodness.
What archetype we're talking about again? Sorry.
Spirits.
Yeah, Spirit,
Spirit,
the
right,
original Spirit
right.
monsters.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, despite
Fun to
a
talk
certain
about.
bird boy, we're gonna have to talk about. I think the art is
Well, I think the thing is most of the Spirit monsters are like classic OG Yu-Gi-Oh time. Like,
yeah, but the art is done so well.
but I mean, but in a good way. There's a lot of really good old
yeah.
art. Like there
Like-
is a certain aesthetic to Yu-Gi-Oh about the like original Duel Monster era card arts anyway. That like some people think has lost with a lot of Konami's new clean lines.
Well, no, because to me, even compared to the rest of the old art, like Spirit stands out to me as like,
Yeah.
man, I wish these cards were better so I could play these art.
Hey, just play junior format. They had to
Like,
I had to ban Yamada and Hino Kagetsuchi.
Well,
I
yeah,
think.
no, Hino Kagetsushi is the one I'm thinking of. Like, I love that card art,
Yeah.
but it's a penis card.
And unfortunately, I will also say it's also unfortunate for them that both Yamada Dragon and Hino Kagetsuchi will ever be marred by the fact that they're the 2 assholes on last turn. What the fuck?
I still think Last Turn's art is one of the best card art.
Oh no, last turn's art is cool, but last turn itself is just
Yeah.
It's Last Turn.
And the one who
Blah.
used it was Kaiba.
okay. But that's it for the stream. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Also, go back and watch the Skyward Sword stream. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.